Hello everyone, and welcome to the Sidebar Cantina, the podcast where we talk about Star Wars, pop culture, the coming of spring, or whatever the fuck we feel like talking about.
Coming.
And going.
I was going to say, where's your fuck pillow at?
Ladies. I'm Mr. Jason Roscom. With me here each and every single week, the Darth Vader to my Palpatine, Dave Martin. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Jason.
How are you?
I am okay.
Just okay?
Just okay.
Okay. I guess okay is better than bad.
True.
Yes.
True.
Okay, well, that just got awkward. What are we talking about today?
We are talking about the Mandalorian.
See.
3PO.
Yeah.
Chapters 18 and 19.
Yes.
Which, honestly, I forgot we were also doing chapter 18, or else I would have rewatched it. I had time. But that's okay.
What the fuck are you going to do?
Yeah.
It's honestly,
the important part is that I did watch it.
Yes.
That's the important part, kids.
Exactly. And I mean, well, yeah, we'll get into it when we get there.
Yep.
But yeah, what else is going on?
It's the first day of spring.
Yes. That's what I was trying to lead into.
Oh.
You know, because I saw you had the note about that.
It is. It is. Happy Spring Day.
Is that today, the first day of spring?
Today is the first day of spring.
Oh, no shit.
So
it was kind of warm out too.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this in previous years, and I don't know what we've had to have done the show on a first day of spring before.
Probably.
Statistically, we've been doing this for 6 years. We most likely have at least done it once. But
I agree.
Just in case we hadn't, back in high school, me and my close group of friends, we did this thing. We called it Spring Day, and it was an excuse that we used it to cut school.
Oh, okay.
And it was a celebration of the weather changing and just getting outside and fucking getting the hell away from school. And yeah, so happy Spring Day, Jeff and Sean.
All right.
So yeah. That's it.
All right, very
That's
good.
all I got.
Yeah, and I mean, weather-wise, this is just capping off the weirdest fucking winter I think I've ever experienced here in Jersey. And they're having the weirdest fucking winter ever back home in California as well. So
Yeah, fucking all that snow.
Yeah,
Which
snow and rain, and it's good for them.
Yeah,
they needed it.
They need the water.
Though, where my dad used to live in this town called Kernville, completely flooded. Like I saw some pictures from it where it's like water like up to close to the roofs of some of the houses. Probably where his house was probably really flooded.
Wow.
So thankfully he moved out of there.
Shit, yeah.
Before that happened.
That's one of those things where like, all right, you're kind of don't be mindful of what you get or whatever.
Careful what you wish for.
There it is. That's what I was trying to get.
California's needed the water. All right.
Yeah, here it is.
Yeah.
The ground's not going to be able to you're going to get saturated in seconds, but don't worry about it. You're going to have all the water you can handle. It's all going to flow to Arizona.
Yeah, probably.
But but you're still so overcharged for water.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I'm sure their water prices aren't going down anytime soon.
No. There's no such thing. It's just like gas prices. Like, do they really, really actually go down, or do they go up to a point that it could just, let's take it a couple notches down and make them think that it's cheaper?
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because fucking Biden pulled that shit. What was it during the midterms? I think when gas was like $3.15, it's like, oh, gas has gone down almost $1.
Yeah.
Over the last few months, it's like, motherfucker, it went up like $3 while you were here.
Yeah, it's all contrast theory, man.
Yeah.
Marketing, or not marketing, but economics 101. Words are hard today.
Yeah, it seems like it. But that's fine. We keep chugging along here. So I guess this is the point where we should talk about Patreon, eh?
Look, see? Happy Spring Day.
Oh, look at that.
I think you should talk about Patreon.
All right. Yeah, you're running a little slow today.
I am.
You guys will have to forgive Dave.
I'll have an explanation as to why here in a moment.
All right. Well, if you are enjoying the Sidebar Cantina's content, continue becoming Fuck! Now I'm doing it. God damn it, Dave.
Catching.
Consider becoming one of our Patreon supporters. For as little as $1 a month, you can support this podcast and help make it possible for us to continue to bring you quality content week after week. We'd like to give a huge shout out to all of our current patrons: Frederick Martin, Scott and Kim from the Use and Abuse podcast. She changed the fucking order again. Ivo G, my wonderful mother-in-law, Patricia Goodstein, Nicholas Schaefer, Don Solsky, Shotgun Mark, Nick from Swede Studios, Frank Kalevich, Dragon Buddy, Kristen Roscom, Catherine Rennick, Wally Frogmore, David Schmuck, Lord Helmetfire, and our newest patron, Chantal. Chantal, got a lot of things to discuss, mainly Chantal.
I'm not falling for it. I'm not gonna fall for the banana in a tailpipe.
If you'd like to consider becoming a supporter, you can find us at patreon.com/thesidebarcantina. Thank you again to all of our listeners and supporters. We appreciate each and every one of you. You are the reason why we do this. Back to you, Dave.
Pink hand waving.
Huh?
No, I happened to look over in the chat, and Ivo is in the chat. Hi, happy spring day.
Yeah.
And he had put something in there, and it said pink hand waving. I think it was trying to do like an emoji shortcut.
And you just typed the text.
It just said the text, so I just sent it back.
All right, fair enough.
What am I doing? Oh, I'm doing a read.
Yeah, you probably got some Red 5 stuff.
I have some just titled sidebar headlines, and Lunar Girl's got nothing.
Oh, okay.
But she wanted me, Dave,
Yes, you.
Dave,
That's
to have something to read. So, the vernal equinox was at 5:24 Eastern Daylight Time, which means it is officially astrological spring.
How is that different from regular spring?
More words.
Okay.
Also, the new moon is tomorrow, which coincides with the first full day of spring, which is tomorrow.
Right on.
Set those intentions. You'll do better keeping them than you would on New Year's Day. Because there's actually good weather to be outside and go out there. It's like, hey, I'm going to spend more time outside and doing stuff and exercising or something. Like, the sun's out. The air doesn't hurt your face anymore or not as bad.
Yeah.
Although this morning was fucking 25 degrees this morning. It's like, fuck you. Like, winter, just go away. You're done. Mm-hmm. You had your chance. You fucking blew it. Just go away. All right. That's all I got.
All right. Fair enough. So what do we do now? Oh, yeah. Day in Star Wars. So I've got 2 days in Star Wars.
2?
Yes. And it'll all make sense when I get into it. So the first one is in a couple of days, March 22nd. And do you know what happened on March 22nd? Fuck! What is wrong with us today? March 22nd of 1976.
I'm going to say primary filming of Star Wars?
Principal photography for A New Hope begins on location in Tunisia.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. But you know what happens the next day on March 23rd, 1976?
The first rainstorm in Tunisia in
Yes,
50 years.
The on-location shooting in Tunisia for A New Hope is hit with the first winter rainstorm in 50 years.
Yep.
Dave did his research.
Yeah, well, it's just a random factoid in my fucking head.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that was in that fucking article that I sent to in the Galactic Refugee group text.
Oh, really?
In that of the one time that I actually open up things you didn't know about Star Wars, I'm like, all right, let's see what these fuckers are coming up with.
And that was one of the facts, huh?
Well, it actually had mentioned, it mentioned the rainstorm in Tunisia, and it also mentioned the whole thing with the Navajo dub. Did you read that part of the text?
No, I didn't see that.
So apparently, A New Hope was the first feature film to be dubbed in a Native American language.
Oh,
this was not recent,
like in the 70s or 80s.
I guess. I forget what the timeline was.
Yeah,
but it was the first. So if you think about it, we all have copies, multiple copies, and multiple iterations and multiple formats.
Mm-hmm.
So if we have the dub version, we know the words for A New Hope. All of us do. We could watch this with the Navajo dub, and we could probably teach ourselves Navajo.
I suppose we
could all become Navajo code talkers.
Yeah, I mean,
Or at least in some bastardized version, Star Wars, like it'd be like a dialect. Like, oh, that's not really Navajo, but it's that Star Wars dialect.
well, I mean, conceptually, we could do that with any language, right? It doesn't have to be Navajo, because
I mean, true, but Navajo's unique.
yeah, that is
Like,
true.
Now, how many other people are gonna besides a handful of the Navajo?
Yeah, I don't know.
And they probably don't watch Star Wars, but maybe they do.
I don't know. I think that's a little presumptive of you to just think that Native Americans wouldn't enjoy Star Wars.
I'm gonna go ahead and be presumptive about it.
Yeah. Okay, whatever. That's
That's the kind of presumption that I'm willing to make until somebody proves me wrong.
all right. Fair enough.
And I want people to throw things at me to prove me wrong. Like, yes, get on social media at PhillyDave75. And if you're a Native American and you're listening to this podcast and you enjoy Star Wars, please let me know.
All right.
I want to know. I want to hear from you.
Yes.
I will call you out by name.
All right. In a good way.
Oh, totally.
Not like this fucking Navajo fucking messaged me
Yeah.
on Instagram. Fuck him.
no.
Okay.
I mean, in a good way.
All right. Good. Oh yeah. So anyway, back to the whole Tunisia thing.
Yes.
Because it's just so funny that this happened with A New Hope, and then of course it happens again with fucking episode 1. Because if you watch the documentary about episode 1, they just start fucking filming out there. I think there were maybe a couple days into filming, and then the whole set just gets fucking wrecked by a massive fucking storm that
Yep.
blows through.
Yeah.
And it's them picking up the pieces the next day, like, fuck.
And what in Empire they had in Finland they had the fucking snowstorm of this fucking century.
Yeah,
that was
for the
there. It was
hot
like
scenes.
18 feet of snow or some fucking ridiculous shit. It's just George just brings the weather with him.
Indeed he does. Oh, good times. So that was our day in Star Wars. Shall we talk about our weeks now?
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah, do it.
So, speaking of Star Wars and big things, first of all, I do not have a new addition to
The sacred Jedi.
because I had to spend a lot of money this week on other things.
Yes.
I'm gonna hold on some of the details as to the who with this, but I will say the what, and that is in May, month and a half from now, I am going to the Galactic Star Cruiser hotel experience in Orlando, Florida.
Motherfucker.
I know. Yeah, this opportunity came up. I could not say no to it. And yeah, I'm going with 3 other guys that I know. And it's going to be pretty fucking awesome. One of the things that we're going to do is we're actually going to go in costume, which I already bought my costume. And it should be here tomorrow or Wednesday. So next week, I should have that to do a full display of.
Yes.
I showed you a picture, but I'm not going to reveal it here on the show until we
Yes.
actually can
That'll
see
be
it.
exciting. That'll be exciting for the audience.
Yeah. Oh, and even bigger than that, not only am I going to the Galactic Star Cruiser, but I'm going over May the 4th. We're going from the 3rd to the 5th.
Yeah, that's
So I'll be there on May the 4th.
it's gonna be so fucking cool.
Yeah. So
And you know what? Honestly, this is the perfect opportunity for you to tell us, or at least tell me, what the Galaxy's Edge is like. Hey,
yeah.
is this like
Because we've heard so much, but neither
Right.
of us have experienced it yet.
right? So is this something that, like, hey, you should get down there, come, hell or high water,
Yeah.
and that way I can talk Kathy into going. Like, come on, let's go. Let's get plane tickets and go.
Yep, definitely. So, yeah, I'm super excited going over May the 4th. The details of this we're going to talk about in a later episode because one of the people that I'm going with is going to be joining us in studio.
That's right.
For an episode of the podcast, and we'll delve more into the details of that. But it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm so excited. And I also spent a lot of money this week between the costume and I got to still book my plane tickets.
Yeah,
I'm just waiting for him to tell me when he's flying down. So
totally worth it.
yeah.
Totally worth it.
Yep. So yeah, no Black Series figure this week. Sorry. I did buy some other stuff though. Wasted my money. The Steam Spring Sale started the end of last week, I think, and I think it's only going through like the middle of this week. So if there's any games you guys are looking for on Steam, pretty much everything is on super sale. And I bought a whole bunch of games that I'll never have time to play. I bought like Red Dead Redemption 2, which I heard is a fucking phenomenal game. I can't even remember what else. I bought a couple of Warhammer 40K games that are supposed to be really good. But again, probably never going to have time. They're just going to rot in my Steam library with the other 400 games that I own on there and that I don't get to play. So
did you ever get that, or did Steam release that fucking
the Steam
handheld?
Deck. Yeah, I got 2 for the boys for Christmas last year. So I had initially pre-ordered one for myself, and then around August timeframe, Kristen's like, "Fuck, I don't know what to get the 2 youngest boys for Christmas." I'm like, "Well, I got one Steam Deck coming, and I could order another one, and then that can be their main Christmas present." And she's like, "Yes, we'll do that." So I never got a Steam Deck. My boys did, and
is that something that's still available?
Oh yeah, yeah. In fact, today I think is the 1-year anniversary of when it first released.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always wondered how that was working out.
Apparently it's going really well. People love it. Yeah. And I played with Ben's just a little bit once, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. But I think the problem with me is like my vision, with the way my vision is now, with like things close up are starting to be a little squirrely.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of hard to like get it to a good spot where
you don't have
focus.
a bifocal.
I do. I have the progressive lenses. It's just
that
kinda,
shit's the worst.
Yeah.
I struggle just even like here. Like if I'm looking at the iPad, I have to look just in the right part of the. Getting old sucks.
Yeah, and that never used to be the case for me. I used to only have a problem with distance. Up close, I could see just fine even without my glasses. But now that's all starting to get up.
Yeah.
So anyway, big Steam sale. Go blow your money on games that you're never going to play like me. So, and that's pretty much my week. My weeks have been a blur lately. I don't know what the fuck's going on anymore.
Well, it's spring. It's everything is flipped over now. It's
yeah, and I'm excited. Like I'm ready to get outside and fucking taste the sun a little bit. And I just noticed that. Are we going to talk about that?
Yeah.
Or okay, all right.
I was wondering if you were going to notice.
Yeah, I just happened to look up. I'm like,
can't really see it on camera. So
yeah, all right. Well, I'm sure you'll address it.
Yes, I will address it.
And that being said, why don't we just move right over to your week?
We're gonna move into my week, and I'm gonna bring it down a notch just because my week. It was a big part of my week. This past week, had a high school friend of mine pass away. This week, he was a Masonic brother, and we went to high school together. We were in the same graduating class. Our friend circles were connected. We actually dated the same girl at one point, not at the same time.
Yeah. Dave was telling me that story beforehand.
Yeah. And through that girl, we actually were both working at Woolworth together. And I've told my Woolworth stories.
You've talked about those days working at that job.
Yeah, the Christmas store. And so, and Keith's the one I had worked with, and he had some medical issues, and unfortunately, he was doing better, but it came kind of suddenly. So, it's we stayed connected because of Freemasonry. And like we were both sitting secretaries. Like he was secretary of Mozart Lodge, and I'm the secretary of Merchantville. So we're kind of, we were still running in the same circles, and would see each other and email and text often. So, and yesterday was a funeral. It was tough, as you can imagine.
Yeah,
funerals suck, and it just is. It's another just. That subtle reminder, like, hey, this opportunity goes to go to this galactic star cruiser. You got to fucking do it.
Yeah.
You got to do it because you don't know. You don't know. You got to take, don't be afraid to take advantage of your time, and really enjoy it.
Yeah. And especially like when, it's somebody that's our age that passes.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck.
That's the hardest part. And I won't get into the morbidity of it. But it's just, there's so many weird coincidences that I'm not going to get into. We're getting ready to have our, I graduated in 94. 94. Is that drop still not on the board?
It's on a different tab.
Anyway,
94.
yeah, there you go. So we're actually the day that
94.
there you go. The day that the day that I found out he passed,
94.
the day that I found out he passed, he fucker. Somebody had messaged me asking me about the
Oh, shit. Whoops. Sorry, I muted us. All right, I'm done. I'm done messing with you.
somebody had messaged me about getting ready for our 30th reunion.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of like with that news, like, you know, somebody your age passing and then talking about like, oh, here's, you know, hey, has anybody started thinking about what we're going to do for our 30th?
Mm-hmm.
Like 30 fucking years after like,
and it'll be
after high
30.
school.
Yeah, it'll be 30 for me in 25 because I graduated in 95.
Yeah. So it's like, fuck. It's just, again, it's about perspective. And yeah, it's just, it was a tough week for me. It was a week that kind of that started shitty. Unfortunately, it kind of ruined me going out and seeing my daughter out in State College, because we went out there for the night. But funny story about that.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, before I move into that, I'm gonna rest in peace, Keith.
Yes. Raise a
Raise
water bottle.
we'll raise whatever vessel we have to Keith.
To Keith.
So while we're in State College, right? I think on Monday when I was on the show, I was complaining about my shoulder a little bit at the end of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday was shitty. Still, it was like getting worse. And so Wednesday, we're at State College, we're at the hotel, and it's like I'm getting this ice pick pain in my fucking shoulder blade, right? I'm like, and I say to Kathy, like, hey, do I have something like right here, right? Like it feels like there should be something right there.
Oh no.
And she's like, jokingly, she says like, what, like a horn or something, right? So I taken my shirt off, and she looks and she goes like, what? Oh, what? And I'm like, what? Apparently, like there's a bump. You could probably see it.
Oh yeah.
See where it's swollen?
Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah. So so she sees this bump on my fucking like shoulder, like, which immediately makes like me complaining about my shoulder actually like something real, as opposed to just me pissing and moaning about it.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, it sucks. So I, get through the week, and finally by Friday, I'm like, I gotta go to urgent care.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get this looked at. So go to urgent care, and I'm explaining the whole story to the nurse, right? And I'm like, yeah, I said to my wife, is there something there? And she's like, the nurse is like, yeah, you mean that lump on your back?
Yeah.
Because she could see it through my shirt.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, yeah, that's part of it. So they end up doing multiple images because they thought I might have separated my shoulder, and that's why it was swelling like that. But it's not. It's just it's probably just I tore something up in my there, and it's just causing that swelling.
Fuck.
Yeah. So,
but nothing conclusive, huh?
It's if it doesn't go away by the end of this week, I need to go to ortho.
Okay.
But they put me on some muscle relaxers, which is also contributing to my slowness.
Oh, I got a funny sidebar about muscle relaxers.
Oh yeah.
So I'm home on leave. This is like might be the first time I'm home on leave after joining the Air Force. So I'm like 20 years old. No, 21, because I was drinking at that point. So yeah. And my cousin was getting married. My cousin, who was a few years older than me, he was in the Navy. He also was home on leave and getting married. And it was this big thing, like fucking just all kinds of stuff. I'm fucking drinking. And then we all go, okay, this is for the bachelor party. Me and my two cousins and a bunch of other people that they knew were like drinking like crazy. We go to the fucking strip club. At one point early in the evening, my other cousin, Josh, comes up to me with a pill. He's like, dude, take this. I'm like, what is it? He's like, don't worry about it. Just take it. I'm already fucking wasted at this point. I'm like, I take it back. I down it with a beer. A couple minutes later, I'm asking him, like, what the fuck was that? He's like, oh, it's this Mexican muscle relaxer. I'm like, huh, okay.
Oh, shit.
We're at the fucking strip club. And, like, I am fucking just blitzed at this point. I'd already been drinking.
Fucking dart in your neck.
And at one point, I kind of black out. And then I wake up laying on the floor, looking up at the ceiling of the fucking strip club, just like, and there's a stripper standing over me like, are you okay?
Oh my God.
And they're like, they told my cousins.
You're looking up like mud flaps.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And they told my cousins, you got to get him out of here.
Yeah.
So they carried me out, put me in a cab, and I don't really remember getting home or anything.
Jesus Christ. Here, take this.
Yeah, all because my cousin just walks up to me and just hands me a pillow. I'm like, sure, why not?
Yes.
So
this is, you're exactly right. Why we don't take pills that we don't know about.
I was 21, I still had the whole world in front of me.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Like, God, my kidneys and liver can fucking process this. No problem. Gloop.
Well, 2023 Jason is like, you fucker.
You dumb motherfucker.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my sidebar about muscle relaxers. Don't take them while you're fucking drinking a lot.
Don't drink on muscle relaxers, kids. Which, to be honest, I thought about, like, breaking out some, for an appropriate toast, just to have a wee nip, but yeah, not while I'm on this medication, and,
Yeah.
and have an expectation of driving home. So yeah, I've been dealing with that on top of all the other bullshit this past week. Just a shit week. The end of winter. I'm ready to close the door on that and fucking walk into the sunshine of the fucking spring of this year.
G-Force. Here, take this Mexican fentanyl laced muscle relaxer. Okay.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. Sorry. Anyway.
All right, let me get this down.
All right. Oh yeah. So I'm sitting here listening to Dave talk, and I look up and I see this thing, this like brand new addition to the cantina, which I did not realize was there.
So this, I spoke about this 2 weeks ago, I think, or last week.
I think it was last week where you saw the Lego version of this, and you're just like,
right.
Fuck it.
So we're ironically we're doing the Mandalorian episode.
Yeah, it's very fitting.
We have, and I'd said, yeah, we're pre-order the Naboo Star Cruiser, the N1, for, because it was available for pre-order, and I'm a fucking schmuck. So I got it the other day, and I'm like, oh, well, I must fucking put it together in time for the show. So I was able to put it together today. It was a good build. It is much bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it is.
That's what she said.
Ladies.
Be careful touching the top, because that circle is the trigger. No, that one. Yeah, that's the trigger for the.
Where's the trigger?
For the.
So the
weapon.
Just to reiterate, this is the N1 Naboo starfighter that Dave has lambasted since
Yep.
Din Djarin acquired it as his new mode of transportation.
Yep. And it was a good build. It's like I said, it's a bigger starfighter. Like, comparatively, it's about the size of an X-wing. Yeah, and it was the detail work in the engines is actually what impressed me the most. They when I was putting these engines together, there's like all these little like nuanced pieces of just it to make it look like it's something that was just kind of smacked together. And then each engine has a couple little different things on it. So, and then like, yeah, you push this guy and then fucking.
It's not doing anything.
Oh, it's because I shoved the fucking bullet in the wrong hole.
Ladies.
Yeah. Well, so much the better. And so it came with, you got Din sitting in the cockpit, and you got Grogu sitting in the bubble. I don't know if you saw it. Everyone got to see Grogu in the bubble.
It's perfect.
Look at his cute face. And it also came with fucking Tits McGee.
Whoa, who? What?
fucking that broad.
Oh, fucking Pelly.
And then thank God her fucking mouth's not open.
Yeah, you see her gap tooth.
Yeah. And then it also came with a
Oh,
BD,
shit.
like a little BD1.
Wait, no. Oh, I guess she's got one in her scrapyard, right?
Yeah.
And these little BD guys. It's fucking tiny. Christ, it's tiny. Look,
So-
it's about the size of my fucking fingernail.
Yeah, very easy to lose.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
But yeah, so it was a good build.
Nice. I like it.
Got some Lego therapy today.
Yeah. Oh, you built it today?
I did just before the show.
Oh, nice.
So yeah. So I figured I set up a little Mandalorian area up there.
Oh, yeah. Amongst the
sacred Jedi
pops.
So I made a Mandalorian backdrop, and I figured I'd keep this up there. I'm gonna make a better stand for this. This stand is actually for another Lego ship.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
I
so
mean, it seems to work.
it does. It's very it's precarious.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm gonna build something a little hardier for it. But that's an art in and of itself. Just coming up with an engineering display stands for these things to
Yeah.
like, because I wanted it to be tilted on its side. Like anybody can build something that's going to sit like this,
Right.
but you want it to be able to sit, and you get the photo pass view.
Yeah, yeah, which is great. But then, of course, you got to think about the center of gravity
Yep.
and some
Yeah.
other.
So this is a great idea. I just need to make it a little stronger.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put this back before I break it.
All right. Very cool.
I'm gonna break it.
So now I feel like I need to make a Mandalorian display with the
sacred Jedi.
But well, I mean, I have like a lot of Mandalorian characters down on that bottom.
You got
row
them. You
and
got
here and
right front and center.
yeah, yeah. So I guess
Because I'm away from the microphone like an asshole.
yeah.
I moved. I put the Darksaber. I wanted to get it out in the open a little bit more.
Yeah, the gift from the Escape Pod guys.
Yeah, for our 100th episode.
Yep.
So I got it out in the open. I've got ideas for that.
Okay.
And I'm going to build something.
Oh.
It might involve some different lighting aspects.
Okay.
Something, I knocked together something to try and get it lit, but I got better ideas. So
Okay.
more to follow on that.
All right.
Something that should be ready by the time Don and Brady come back.
Okay.
See you, Rick. Yeah, you got Mando's right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, right there,
Yeah,
front and center.
right there. It's just it sucks because I feel like you can't really see them very well on the YouTube.
Well, it's tough. I mean, these cameras, they're good for just kind of seeing us, but not really
Yeah.
seeing any detail.
And they're 1080p. Like who does 1080p anymore? That's like what are we fucking Amish? It's all about 4K and 8K these days.
Yeah, well, people have to like, who's actually watching us, and like, is YouTube pushing 4K?
I know you can watch 4K like movie trailers and shit.
But who, like our YouTube channel, like how many downloads would we have to have, or clicks would we have to have in order to get 4K broadcasting?
I mean, I guess we can't just do that automatically. Like
I feel like that they would require more money
oh, I don't have the drop. Damn it.
so if we're gonna put out that kind of bandwidth, I'm sure they want us to be better. More subscribers, hit the like button.
Yeah.
Damn it. Fucking spilled on in the picture of this.
What?
So did I talk about this?
I don't know. Did you?
I didn't remember if I did.
Don't remember.
So Kate had actually gone to a Comic-Con out in State College, and she got an autograph from Dana Snyder, who is Master Shake on Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Very nice.
And Aqua Teen Hunger Force is fucking great. There's some really, really good episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny too, because she went up to him and was like, she knew his voice as Master Shake, right? And it was one of those where she kind of had to explain to him that, like, yes, she was exposed to this probably at too young of an age. Because
Right.
it's something that John and I had always put on the TV.
Oh,
when
I
John
remember. Yeah.
So when he would sleep over, like it was fucking like when he would be up from Florida, he would stay at my house, and
Yeah.
so we would be sitting around drinking and watching it. We weren't fucking killing zombies, and so yeah, she ended up like she got the autograph, a couple autographs, and fucking did a couple of videos. Like she sent me a video of him, and which I sent to John. And what's funny is like, so Master Shake's just fucking hilarious. Just just an absolute dick. This guy, Dana Snyder, he's actually from PA. He's from Easton, PA. Has a Star Wars connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually has done a voice for Star Wars. He is oh shit, I forgot it already. Damn it. I should have wrote it down. Go back into the IMDb. Yeah, in Lego Star Wars Terrifying Tales, he was Grabala the Hutt.
Oh, no shit.
He reprised that role several times, even and in the video game. So
I'll be damned.
yeah, so he has a Star Wars connection. And he's done so much voice work.
I'm
it's,
sure.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
Oh yeah, you look at any of these voice actors and they do so much. I guess they kind of have to because it's it's not like it pays millions of dollars like a fucking feature movie.
Right.
So,
Which yeah, it's a shame, but I mean he's super talented.
yeah.
He did remember Squidbillies?
Yeah.
He was the grandmother in Squidbillies. If you haven't seen Squidbillies, folks, you should watch it. It's pretty fucking funny. At least the first couple seasons of it. After that, it starts getting weird to a point where it's fucking weird, like uncomfortably weird.
Yeah. All I know, Disney needs to wrap up D. Bradley Baker for life. He's the guy who does the voice for the clones in Clone Wars and all that. They need to just wrap it up, B.
Yeah,
They fucking sign over his life rights and
get his voice.
yeah.
It's completely wrapped up. So and last thing for my week is so Saturday, Kathy and I had tickets to go see Cats in Philly, right? So this past Friday was St. Patty's Day.
Oh, that's
And-
right. Fuck the Irish.
Dick. I don't have my knife on me of all times.
Yes. I live another day.
I have a pen though.
That would hurt.
Some Jason Bourne shit. So that was Friday night, and so Saturday night, show starts at 7:30. Kathy and I are getting ready, blah 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 blah, and we left at our normal time because I was thinking, I thought St. Patty's Day was over. Right. This is old man Dave. Right. This is not like, hey, if this was you over St. Patty's Day, you would have taken the entire weekend and drank as much as possible because you had the whole weekend.
Right.
Not just one night. It would have just been a constant. But old Dave, that doesn't really drink anymore, forgot this.
Right.
Just assume that, hey, St. Patty's Day was on a Friday night. Good for them. Take advantage of that. Didn't even think about it for Saturday. I go rolling into Philly, and there's fucking people everywhere. It was absolutely insanity.
Wow.
I was driving through like the whole district to get it. Like when you get into that theater district area, like that's where all the bars and restaurants and shit are.
Yeah. Oh,
So
I remember.
when you're trying to fucking get like to my normal parking garage, fucking forget it. It was full.
Oh shit.
So we legitimately drove around for about an hour and 10 minutes trying to find some place to park within, 5-6 blocks of the fucking place.
Yeah.
And by the time that we stopped, by the time we actually found some place which was near Jefferson Hospital, right? And even then, they didn't have a sign out saying it was full, but I'm almost guaranteeing you that lot was full too.
Uh-huh.
Assuming we did park there, we would have had to walk 5 blocks to get to the theater, right? Huffing it,
Yeah.
which, it's tough for Dave to do these days. And get into the theater to basically be there just before fucking intermission
Yeah.
and miss the first half of the fucking show.
Mm.
So you're going to pay $35 to park. And then once you leave the show, you're going to be walking through all those drunk people again to fucking come back to get to your car. We ended up waving off. We're just, fuck it. We're not, it's just, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. And Kathy has seen Cats before. Like her and Kate had actually seen it before.
Okay.
So
She wasn't missing much.
no, it was a night out. It's part of our subscription for the Broadway series stuff that we see in Philly.
Sure.
And, even if I left earlier, I'm not sure that we even still would have had someplace to park. We just would have had more time to walk,
Right.
I guess. And if you were trying to try and Uber in,
It'd probably be just as difficult.
just as bad. And the trains would have been packed. It was just not it was, God, if I had thought about it, I would have done like the Sunday, day.
Yeah.
Like the 1:00 show on a Sunday if I could have picked it.
Yeah, because all of the drunken idiots would have been recovering at that point.
Hopefully. Or they would just be laying in the street. You just step over them.
Yeah, get it together, Grouch.
Get it together, Grouch.
Get a job, Grouch.
So yeah, we ended up not going. So when we got home, we basically, Kathy's like, well, I'm getting a bottle of wine and we're just going to watch a movie or something. So we ended up watching Andor.
Oh,
So,
okay.
and Kathy hadn't started watching it.
Right.
So I got Kathy started watching Andor. So we watched the first 3 episodes of Andor.
Yeah.
And she's it's not like wasn't into it like she was with Mandalorian, like where she was like, oh look, she's just invested in kind of the cuteness of the characters and whatever. But it's more like that dramatic element, like she's has a little anxiety because like, oh, what the fuck's gonna happen?
Oh yeah.
Type thing. So it's just I kind of forgot how engaging Andor was, like, because in the beginning it started out kind of like the pacing wasn't there, but then it like by the 3rd episode you're like, oh fuck, I remember what's coming.
Yeah.
And you just I'm glad that she's into it enough where she wants to sit down and watch it.
Well,
so
good.
it's a good excuse for me to fucking watch it again.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's it. That's enough. That's enough for my week.
All right.
I've had shallow weeks for like the past month and a half. So this was
the culmination of
the
everything.
culmination of one without even a rant. Sorry, Ivo.
Yeah. All right. Do you need a break or anything before we get into Mando?
No, I'll just pee right in the middle of it like I always do.
All right, fair enough. So yeah, the main thing we're talking about today is Mandalorian chapters 18 and 19, the last 2 episodes that aired. And let's get into it.
Yes.
So chapter 18 that came out a week and a half ago now was the Mines of Mandalore, because if you recall at the end of episode 1, Mando is still dead set on bathing in the waters of Lake
Right.
Minnetonka
Yep.
and getting redeemed for some reason. And he goes that episode ended with him going to Bo-Katan being like, hey, I'm going. And she's like, great.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
She's
I hope you die.
Yeah, she's like sitting there pouting in her fucking throne all by herself.
Yes. Again, I want an entire episode of her just like moping in her fucking castle. Like, stupid
Well,
Mandalorian.
spoiler alert, she's not going to be able to do that anymore.
Facts.
But,
Facts.
We'll get to that when we go. No.
Oh, so happy. There's going to be new TIE pilots.
Oh, yeah.
New
Yeah.
TIE pilots, because I don't know if you noticed, they were different.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But again,
TIE interceptors. And,
all right, we're jumping an episode ahead here. Let's
I know, but
let's
it's exciting.
stay on target.
No.
Stay on target.
No.
All right, so of course, it can't be Disney Star Wars without at least one visit to Tatooine, because
Of course.
they can't seem to get away no matter what.
Yeah, it's the sands. It's the sands of Tatooine.
Yeah.
Because it gets everywhere.
Yeah, and it does. It gets everywhere.
Yeah.
It gets into Boba Fett. It gets into Mandalorian. Did we see it in Andor at all? I don't think we went to Tatooine in Andor, did we?
No, I don't
Yeah.
think we did.
All right, that's good.
But now that I'm rewatching it, I'm gonna be like, wait a minute. Even if it's passing through the window, like, look, there it is,
Right.
fuckers.
Yeah. So yeah, sand gets everywhere. The sands of Tatooine, and that's where we start in this episode, as fucking Mando lands again in the garage of Pelly, the mechanic, whatever you want to call her.
Where's she at?
Oh, this one right here. Yeah.
This fucking broad.
Yeah. So and see, here's the thing.
Her big dumb hair. Look at her.
Yeah. Like I tolerated her in the first couple seasons, right? Like she was added a layer of humor.
Hey.
It wasn't like,
Hey, look at how dumb I am.
yeah, it wasn't laugh out loud funny, but like the time where it was revealed that she was like boning a fucking Jawa.
Yeah,
I thought that was
when she started speaking Jawa.
yeah. So it made her a little enduring, but that shtick has long worn off, and I don't think it helps that you were so distracting. I can't.
I want the camera to focus on her face.
There's nothing to focus on. She's a Lego.
But she has a face. All right.
It's
maybe
not.
if I
it's not
stay
gonna,
still. I'll just stay still.
It's not gonna work.
Shh, quiet. It's gonna work.
It's not.
It's gonna work.
We have to keep going with the show.
It's gonna work. Just get closer and closer.
No, it's not working.
Hello. Hello.
And again, if you're listening to the audio, which by the way, you can all thank Dave for getting us caught up on the audio episodes of the podcast.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you probably have no fucking clue what's going on right now because Dave's fucking with the camera and the Lego figure, and it's distracting me.
It's so creepy looking. Look at it. Like the eyes are all like kind of flooded out. Looks like a Cabbage Patch Kid. Look at it. It almost focused. All right, I'm done.
Yeah, weren't we already talking about these shitty cameras that we need to upgrade? We need to add that to the list. Which we need to buy our new mic soon.
Yes.
Especially since we're gonna have a guest in studio soon.
Yes.
Anyway, Tatooine, Pelly's there. She's being super fucking annoying, and it doesn't help that this scene is like, I don't know, 5.5, 6 hours long. This opening scene of him on fucking Tatooine, first watching her scamming some goddamn Rhodanian out of his fucking speeder and a bunch of his money, where it just kind of shows what the Jawas are all about. They fucking steal shit from people just to sell it back to them.
Yeah. Yeah, they got a good thing going, apparently.
Because, we've seen that now in Mando Season 1. We saw it in Obi-Wan. Now we're seeing it here.
At least they're being consistent.
Yeah, exactly. It's their thing. It's what they do. So, yeah, and then Mando, I guess he initially was going there to try to find a new memory circuit for IG-11, because if you remember from the first episode, IG-11 is apparently the only droid he can trust, right?
Right.
So, so he goes to her, he's looking for an IG thing, and she's like, oh, okay, Grandpa, she's like, well, I got this other droid here for you. And she pulls out fucking R5-D4, the actual R5-D4 who had the bad motivator.
That's right. Yes. Whose motivator is now gone from bad to fucking pussy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and this is what? It's probably 8 years later after the Lars family almost bought him. Because Mando's about 5-6 years after, right? After Return of the Jedi.
Oh, man, you're asking me to like think of the timeline right now.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. Don't hurt yourself.
Oh, it hurts, Jason.
Yeah, but like I hated this whole opening scene. Like it drug on too long. I'm sick of Pelly's shtick. I'm just like, okay, we do not need to see her anymore ever again. And then it was her.
Did she always have the gap in her teeth?
I don't think so, because I saw it this time and I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Did she get in a bar fight or something? Like,
I don't know, but yeah,
I think I would notice that before. I mean, now it's like super noticeable.
I thought that same thing when I'm watching it this time.
Somebody
I'm like,
got sick of her shit and popped her one.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, Star Wars, what are you doing? Sounds like you're fucking saying domestic abuse is fucking okay. It's not. It's not okay.
Oh, it's not? Oh, shit.
Yeah, stop doing that.
If she would just make dinner right the first time, this shit wouldn't happen.
Listen, we know Kristen abuses you. That's okay.
No comment. What the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, so yeah, this scene goes on for way too long. And I even wrote in my notes, I don't like Pelly anymore. So we can fucking forget that. And then as she's trying to peddle fucking R5D4 on Mando, he just like quickly forgets that IG-11's the only droid you can trust. And he's like, all right, fuck it. I'll take him to Mandalore instead. So like immediately just writes off IG-11.
Well, I mean, I guess. Did he? Did he just give up? We're not going to see any more of the fucking baboos?
I have no doubt we're going to see him again. But what I'm saying is, like, that was the whole point, right? He needed IG-11 specifically to go into the mines of Mandalore, make sure the air was breathable, blah, blah, blah. It's the only droid he can trust.
Fucking sent him into the goddamn water. No.
And
again, I'd be skipping ahead.
But no, like, as soon as Toothless McQueen offers him a fucking beat-up R5 droid, he's like, sure, I'll take that one instead.
Yeah, whatever.
After raising such a fuss.
Yeah, and take away... Look... The thing that made the N1 starfighter somewhat redeemable by having fucking the pod there for Grogu.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're gonna take that out so we can put a droid in there. Now you're gonna have Grogu in your lap for fucking however long it takes you to get to your fucking places. This is the dumbest fucking ship ever. It's just stop it. Just stop.
I still like the ship. And we get some pretty cool space battle scenes with it.
Hooray!
Or aerial battles, I should say.
Yeah. Great.
Technically on a planet's surface, but...
Well, I mean, they had some in space.
Well, yeah. So, but anyway.
With the interceptors.
We're jumping ahead. Oh, by the way, spoiler alert. If, like, anybody hasn't seen these episodes for whatever reason, we're going deep into spoilers, so I don't know why you're watching.
Oh, yeah,
if you
sorry.
haven't seen those.
Yeah.
We typically start with that, but yeah, fuck it. So... Anyway, so he beats feed out of Tatooine. Can't get out there fast enough.
Right.
In order to go to Mandalore with the new R5 unit.
Right. Oh, we didn't even talk about how this whole Boonta Eve thing.
Oh, the celebration on Tatooine.
Right.
Yeah, it's like whatever, fireworks.
Boonta Eve. I feel like we should know that, like, that's come up before. Like when she was mentioning it, I'm like, man, I know I've read about that.
It's probably something they pulled from like a book or something.
Yeah, I just like, God damn it, it's so familiar. Yet the way she's saying it is so foreign.
Yeah,
like they're pulling it from something, and I know, but they're using it in a way that I don't recognize. You know what I mean? Like, am I the only one?
Well, and Dragon Buddy says it has something to do with pod racing, so which is fine.
Oh,
yeah.
Freaking take that apart and go use it for pod racing, because again. As I'm building this fucking Lego ship, right? It has an engine in it that clearly shows that this is aspirated engine. And all the little connectors that go to the fucking thing in Lego are like, oh, these are like connections. Like it would be fed by air. Why? Doesn't make any sense.
Okay, again, you're trying to make sense of the physics of the Star Wars universe.
It makes noise when you... Brum, brum, brum. It's got a fucking quad fucking barrel carburetor.
We have mentioned enough times on this show that sometimes you just have to suspend your disbelief a little bit. You know, that's...
Okay, whatever. I'll move on.
Okay.
It's fine. I'm broken.
'Cause I'm broken when I'm loved. Sorry. Where the fuck was I in my notes?
Audio message.
From who? That's your phone doing that.
I know.
Are you just going to play this on the air? Like, what's going on?
You know what? I'm not going to.
Is it from Kathy?
No, it's from Helmet Fire.
Oh, shit. Okay. Anyway. They get to Mandalore, right? And this is the scene where Mando's talking to Grogu. Is like, you got to learn how to navigate through the galaxy if you're going to be a Mandalorian,
right?
And he's like, that's where Bo-Katan is. That planet right there,
right?
Might come in handy later,
right?
That's the moon where I was raised. But we're going down.
Welcome to Exposition Lane.
Yeah, exactly. And some deep foreshadowing. And they go into the fucking planet, and he's flying through this fucking like thunderstorm, and I'm just getting like PTSD, like twitching a little bit, just like, oh.
You can always hear the crackling over the radio, like, hey, we're way too close to this thunderstorm.
Yeah.
If I can hear the thunderstorm in the radio, we're too close.
Yeah. And just, I'm sure like me, scenes like that, just like the PTSD comes back strong, and it's just like, oh God. Oh
Getting
God.
the shit kicked out of you.
Mm-hmm.
For,
Yeah.
that's fact.
Shades of our flying days.
Yeah.
So anyway, I figure I had to make a note of that. And then they land on fucking Mandalore and send off R5D4s, like, oh, go check those fucking caves over there and look for oxygen. Of course, he doesn't come back. Like, he fucking goes off of their radar. It's like, well, shit. So, Mando, like, puts his fucking helmet on and starts walking in. And if he can do that, I'm like, well, why the fuck didn't you just start by doing that and take a little fucking oxygen reader with you?
Oh.
But he needed the droid. Goes into this fucking cave, and then all of a sudden,
It's one of the first times, like, okay, this actually makes sense, right? Because,
like, as far as like the seal of the helmet.
Well, no, if I was going someplace where I wasn't quite sure about the air, right?
Send a fucking droid.
Yeah, send a fucking probe out.
Yeah.
Like, so, all right, I have a droid to send. Let's fucking send him out there. I'm gonna sit in here where the fucking air's not gonna kill me, and with my fucking kid in my lap because you fucking took away my little pod.
Yep.
And I go out there and tell me if the fucking air is any good. Why does he have to go all the way around the fucking corner to fucking sample the air is beyond me.
Yeah.
But whatever. But yeah, this part actually makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah, sure. So he goes into this cave, and now all of a sudden these Mandalorian cavemen fucking attack him, and they're called, according to Wikipedia, they are Alamites. I call them Mandalorian cavemen.
Sure.
Which, attack, which, by the way, sidebar. How great were those old Geico caveman commercials? You remember those?
Oh, yeah.
As I'm writing cavemen in my notes today,
right.
I'm like, oh, I remember those. So I went on YouTube, and there's like one YouTube video that's like all of the caveman commercials.
Oh, no shit.
All back to back.
I think my favorite one, and the one that popped into my head immediately, was the one where he's in the airport.
Yeah. Do, 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 do.
I think that was everyone's ringtone for like a hot minute when you could personalize ringtones. It's like,
Yeah.
and he's just kind of going along, and then he sees the fucking ad,
Yeah.
and he's just so pissed off. It was fucking good. It was a good campaign.
Yeah, I miss those commercials. Good times. I like the one where he's on like a news show, like a Fox News kind of thing, and the guy's like, well, you people have been pretty slow to adapt. He's like, yeah, inventing fire, discovering the wheel, laying the foundation for all mankind. Yeah, sorry we couldn't get that to you sooner. And then the lady comes out. He's like, Susan, your thoughts? She's like, sounds like somebody got up on the wrong side of the rock. And he's just like, oh God, I love those commercials.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
But it's another. Could they get away with doing that again?
I don't know.
It's tough.
Yeah,
It's tough, right? So many.
Well, who are you gonna piss off, right? Like everybody gets offended by everything, but who's gonna get offended by the caveman commercials? Well, the cavemen were actually Polynesians, early Polynesians.
Listen,
and these are being played by white guys.
There's so many people that are offended for other people for these things that you'll have the people that are offended for Neanderthals, even though they've been dead for a millennia.
Yeah, y'all, they've been extinct for a long time. This is very insensitive to cavemen. Right. Anyway. Sidebar over.
Yes.
Getting back to, so at this point, Mando, he's fighting off the fucking caveman, and he pulls out the Darksaber, and he's still not quite proficient with the Darksaber, because you can see he's swinging, he's killing stuff, but it's like getting heavier, just like when he was practicing with it. Well, in Mandalorian season 2.5,
right,
when he was practicing with it and fighting Paz Vizsla and all that. So they made a point to show that he's still not like the champion of the Darksaber yet.
Right.
Like he's still trying to figure it out.
Which, why the fuck? Like, get better at it already.
Yeah.
Practice? I don't know.
Well, because
like, lift some weights? Do something.
Well, because they, juxtapose that with what we see with Bo-Katan later in the episode.
Yeah.
But we're jumping ahead.
Dude, but it's one of those things where what can we count on with Mandalorian? Din Djarin is going to get his ass kicked
That's right.
every fucking episode.
That's like the one consistent thing.
Yeah.
Anytime there's like any sort of physical confrontation, like he always is getting his ass handed to him. Be it a fucking, woolly rhino or fucking bug people or just whatever. He's always getting the shit kicked out of him.
He's just
Or the Dark Troopers. Remember when the Dark Trooper at the end of season 2 had him pinned against the wall? It was like he's like just pounding his fucking head into the wall.
yeah.
It's like,
Thank God for the
Jesus.
fucking Beskar helmet.
Yeah. It's like Christ, man.
He's like Rocky's fucking
Yes. Yeah, he's Space Rocky, basically.
yeah. It's basically like, hey, how many times you can take a hit and just keep on going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except in this episode, it doesn't really work out.
Right.
But yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah, so he fights off the cavemen, finds the R5 unit, gets the readings, like, hey, breathable air. So fucking takes off his helmet.
No, he doesn't.
No?
He doesn't.
Oh, no, that's right. Let's Grogu out of the pod.
Right.
But it's like, yeah, no, we're good. Everything's cool in the gang.
Yeah. Din's never taking his helmet off again.
More than likely.
Right. Well, I mean, maybe at the end.
Yeah.
It's like, take this mask off. So
To Grogu.
so I
As
can
Grogu's
see you with
lifting-
my own eyes.
Yeah. So him and Grogu go down deep into the mines, and long story short, he finds this spot where there's like some fucking debris and some shit, and there's like this old fucking Mandalorian helmet, like covered in dirt.
Right. It's a trap.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, gotcha, bitch.
And it worked.
Yeah. And what pops out of there is like Wikipedia calls it a spider tank. It's like the most fucking horrific looking thing that fucking captures him and puts him on a goddamn fucking rotisserie.
Yeah. And you're like, what is happening right now?
Yeah. It was fucking weird.
It's not the cave guys.
No, definitely not.
So you're like, holy shit. And Grogu, and it's at this moment where I'm thinking, so does Grogu's little pod like have like controls? Like you have little joysticks and like what's the speed capability of this?
Yeah,
little
or does
pod
he like
thing?
control it with the Force? How does this
Right,
work?
Like how does this work exactly? Because
Yeah.
at some point, like we see here in a little bit, where he's going to have to escape.
Yes.
Right.
And he can just go straight vertical.
Yeah, must go faster. Must go faster.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, speaking of vertical takeoffs. Next episode. But yeah, so but yeah, he bails out of there at first, because when Mando gets captured by this fucking spider tank and puts him in the thing, like his
tank. Spider tank.
his like fucking gun and the Darksaber fall out. This is where I'm like, oh, is Grogu gonna grab the Darksaber? Because that's what I'm waiting for. That's my personal theory that this whole series is building towards, is Grogu eventually being the leader of the Mandalorians. That's my own theory. But I was waiting for him to force grab the fucking Darksaber and chop this thing up. But instead, it's like, no, go get Bo-Katan. And it's like, okay, that's all fine and good, but what makes you think she's going to help you? Like,
Right.
what motivation does she have at all to help Din Djarin get out of this fucking mess?
Grogu's cuteness.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And that pretty much wins over everybody.
Yeah, it's
Everybody except Carl Weathers.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, yeah, you got your little your critter.
Grogu.
Back. Yeah. What?
His name's Grogu.
Whatever.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, so Grogu goes back. This is where the navigation comes into play again, because now Grogu knows exactly where Bo-Katan lives.
Right.
And flies in, and sure enough, she's still fucking sulking in her, palace for one, on her fucking sad throne. And she sees the fucking the N1 starfighter roll in, and she's like, motherfucker. And her exact words were, she's talking to her droid. She's like, let's get rid of him once and for all. I'm like, oh shit, she's gonna come out like guns a-blazing.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, but
instead she comes out talking to a closed cockpit.
Yeah, and so she's like, I thought I told you to stay away.
Right.
And then Grogu pops out.
Like, bing. Like, where's Din?
Yeah.
Something's up.
Mm-hmm.
And
where is he, Lassie?
Yeah, download the droid's info. Like, suddenly you're concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm like, okay. She was being coy about, like, if maybe he's going to do something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
or
she has nothing better to do. really what it comes down to,
Yeah.
is she had nothing better to do. This is
Yeah.
like, I could sit here and I could kick sand for the next 4 hours, or I could get in the ship and I could fucking chase this down. Why not? I'll just go. Well, I'll just go.
Yeah.
Why not? What the fuck? So that's what he does.
Yeah, yeah.
She does.
And maybe she's thinking, oh, maybe he's dead and I can get the Darksaber back.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Right.
I mean, maybe that was her
Pick
motivation.
up the pieces and maybe collect some of my old shit. You know, it might be laying around.
Yep. So she rolls in there and
Real
ahead.
quick. So when he first lands on Mandalore and there's like it's all glassed out.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that was a deliberate illusion because of all the like fusion bombs they were talking about that haven't been dropped?
I think
Like-
that's exactly why. That's what he was referring to in the first episode.
Like they turned everything to glass.
Yeah, like crystallized the surface.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because of all those fusion bombs. Yeah, it's exactly the result of the Empire just fucking carpet bombing the shit out
so
of.
just everything was fucking this sheet of. What made me think of that is when I was a kid, we had there was a fiberglass plant. Fact is, it's not really that close to you where you're at.
Jesus.
Sure, that sounds great on the fucking.
It's a hell of an echo.
Owens Corning Fiberglass used to have a plant in Barrington, which is a couple towns
I
over.
know where that is. Yeah.
Yeah, and now it's like a FedEx distribution center.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I know exactly where that is actually.
Yeah, so that area was a fiberglass plant, and so some of the runoff from there, like water runoff, you'd get like these pieces. What they would do is when they melt the fiberglass, it used to come in like glass balls like this. My mom's dad used to work there.
Okay.
So every once in a while he'd bring us these like glass marbles, right? They weren't perfect spheres. They're
Sure.
just like, but just
Like
basically-
byproducts of the fucking.
Yeah, well, that's what they put into the furnaces.
Oh, okay.
And then once there was kind of like this water runoff from when they were doing it, and when that would cool, it would create these like pieces of glass, which were perfect, like if you're playing Superman, because they're like pieces of green glass that were just like the surface of this, where it was like it looks like kryptonite. almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So that's what it kind of thought of, because down by my house, which is like the next town over, we had down to the creek, there was enough of a runoff where there was an area where you could dig down and you'd find a bunch of this fucking glass that had come all the way from like down the creek from the fucking fiberglass plant.
Oh, that's wild.
So you could dig down and fucking find all this fucking this old fiberglass.
I'm sure that was pretty cool as a kid.
Oh, dude, I had so much of that shit.
Yeah.
And it was sharp as fuck, too, because I'd have a bag of it. And then that bag would, like, it all fucking holes in it. Then it'd have another bag. And I think at one point in my collection, it was, like, quadruple bagged. It was, like, it was because it was so fucking sharp.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was. I'm willing to bet that I could probably go down there and still dig some of it up.
Oh, I believe it.
Because it was just one of those really cool things in the neighborhood that you just fucking dig up and
Yeah.
became part of your fucking scenario when you were playing.
Of course,
down in
yeah.
the woods. And you're like, oh fuck, I got the kryptonite, let's go.
That's great.
Anyway.
So yeah, they Bo gets to Mandalore with Grogu, goes into the cave, also gets jumped by the fucking caveman. Do,
Right.
do, 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 do.
Yeah.
And yeah, she beats the shit out of him. And this is where we get the line that we saw in the trailers of her telling Grogu, "What, you think your father was the only fucking Mandalorian?"
Right.
Like I got some moves too.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, all right, whatever. You know what? No, never mind. I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah. So she gets down there. They eventually make their way to the spider tank where it's now draining fucking Din Djarin's blood.
Right.
Like, what the fuck is that about?
Right. So it's
It's got him on this fucking rotisserie. It's turning him
Right.
over, and now it's like fucking sucking his blood out. It's,
right. So because it's like this grievous, like
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah, because there's like a fucking eye inside the
right. So
the-
it's like this humanoid eye with obvious, like it's obviously the same type of mechanism. Where
yeah,
there's
like this like
internal
mechanical
organs attached to this fucking arms.
mechanical exoskeleton kind of thing.
Yeah, and then he attaches that exoskeleton to whatever.
Yeah, and
to
it's like
make it go.
seriously, it's like something out of a fucking horror movie.
Yeah,
Honestly.
it was pretty fucking gruesome, especially with the fucking stabbing in the neck.
Yeah.
Like to fucking basically like, all right, we're gonna, in order to get you the bloodletting better, I'm gonna put you in this rotating fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking like crazy
Yeah.
to think about. Like, why?
Yeah, it's like-
But I guess he needed that thing needed human blood.
Yeah, I guess.
in
I
order
guess
to
that's why he
sustain
was taking the
itself.
blood, right? That's
It had to have been, right? Because if Grievous, if we think Grievous was human, right? If if there were human organs, and I just assumed that this same thing was human.
yeah.
At some point.
And you know what it probably is? Like that thing probably feeds off of the fucking cavemen.
I don't know if it would.
Well, look,
Otherwise, I mean, maybe it
'Cause
does,
it-
maybe it doesn't.
right, because there's been no Mandalorians down there in forever. So that it probably like settles for the fucking cavemen. But then when a fresh Mandalorian pops in, it's like, ooh,
Yeah, but that cage was kind of small.
so schmo.
So smooth.
But those cavemen were huge.
Yeah,
Like that cage was small, which makes me think that like he came across like, all right, I set the trap. It's a helmet,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because a Mandalorian's going to see that helmet and then dig for it. That's how I catch it.
Yeah.
Whereas the cave people probably don't give a shit about the helmet,
Mhm.
right? So is what makes me think that the cave people probably aren't compatible. Like maybe for a food source, but if he needs the blood,
Mhm.
and he has this system like this droid that he fucking kicks, and the droid's like, okay, fine, and starts pumping
Yeah.
to draw the blood out. Like I'm willing to bet that it's been a long time since he's had like a fresh one.
Right, yeah. Like
And-
it's probably like a delicacy at this point.
Yeah. So he needed that blood in order to sustain himself in his exoskeleton.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. But before he gets to enjoy it, Bo shows up, and this is the point where she picks up the Darksaber, and she's so much more efficient with it. She's just fucking flinging it around and just chopping the shit out of stuff. So it's very obvious that they wanted to make that comparison, how Din Djarin still is not very good with the Darksaber versus Bo, and how she's just fucking,
Right.
doing her thing.
Yeah. She was able to wield it appropriately.
Yeah. And they eventually free him, and they continue on to the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
Yep.
And this is where they start talking about the fucking mythosaur, and she's like, "You really believe that fucking bullshit?" And
Yeah.
and obviously he's gonna be a believer. And they
Right.
oh, go ahead.
Well, so I was going to say he's getting out of her basically, like she's talking about how when she was younger and they're like kind of walking down. It's
Oh
like,
yeah, the
yes.
ceremony that they had down there when she was younger.
Like how, it made all the people happy to kind of parade, my father parading his daughter down here to bathe in the waters. It was all a good show, but that's all it was a show.
Right. It wasn't like as serious as the Children of the Watch take it.
Right. And she was like downplaying the whole thing. And then Din Djarin's, kind of pokes at her a little bit. Although he's just such a, what's the term? There's a term and I can't think of it right now, but he's so,
He's just dedicated to the way.
sure, dedicated is a word, but it's not like he's not smart, like not smart enough, or he's just not.
He's got like a narrow point of view kind of thing when it comes
I
to
don't
that.
know. I can't think of the fucking word. My vocabulary.
Dogmatic, according to Joker voice.
He just doesn't. He's not. He looks at it and says, "I wish I could have met your father," right? Because he just sees it as like, oh, this is Mandalore and Mandalorians were such a foreign concept to him. Like when he became a foundling, he just saw them as saviors.
Yeah.
He never really got to experience the life. He only had what his experience was in the culvert.
Yeah, and because by the time he became Mandalorian, they were living in exile on that moon.
Yeah.
Not on the mainland, so to speak.
So he never really got to experience all that stuff. So for him, this is all like holy shit, showing up in the promised land. You're like, wow, look at all this stuff. And meanwhile, she's like, yeah, this is all kind of bullshit because she's been there since she was a child.
Yeah, and it looked a lot better when she was there.
Yeah, apparently.
It wasn't bombed the ever living fuck out of.
Yeah,
so.
and so, she walks up to that sign and basically reads off the fucking plaque that's there at the fucking stairway into the waters of the lake.
Yeah, which talk again about the mythosaur.
Right.
Legend says the mythosaur blessed the original Mandalorian or whatever. I don't remember what the fucking thing said.
I'll bet you it's in here. Hang on. I might have it in my notes.
But, either way, she doesn't buy it at all while he's still dedicated to the cause.
I'm selling it. You're buying it.
Yep. So he starts walking down the steps into the fucking waters to, cleanse himself and all that.
Takes off his jetpack.
Yeah, which big mistake.
Yeah.
And takes one step and whoom.
Big mistakey. And drown.
Yeah.
Go.
Like fucking just like plummets. Apparently Beskar is very dense.
Fucking heavy.
Yeah, and
You
does
gotta
not
imagine it's fucking heavy.
Yeah, does not float very well. So yeah, he fucking sinks. And then Bo's like, oh shit. So she goes in after him because she kept her jetpack on, which I guess jetpacks also work as water jetpacks.
I guess it depends.
Sure.
I guess it depends on what's
And also
whatever. I'm not going to.
And also Mandalorian helmets clearly have enough of a seal and some type of oxygen regulator inside to allow you to breathe underwater as well. Like it's a full
If it's sealed.
dive suit. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's sealed. I don't think Din's was sealed because he was obviously struggling for breath when she brought him up.
Could be.
Like he was under duress.
Yeah.
Whereas she was able to handle it.
Yeah. So she fucking grabs him though, and as they're floating up, she comes like fucking eye to eye with a massive fucking beast underwater.
Right.
Don't know what it is, assuming it's the fucking mythosaur.
Well, it looked exactly like it was. Yeah, you only really see like
it's kind of dark.
Yeah,
under
you get
the water,
dark glow of like the eye, but there was enough of a shape there to me to be like, holy fuck, that is the skull.
Yeah,
like that is the mythosaur.
Mm-hmm. And
oh my god,
yeah. So they get up to the surface, and keep in mind too, she put her helmet on at some point during this cave excursion and had not taken it off up to this point. They get up to the fucking surface, and this is again the beauty. I don't know how they do it in this fucking show, but showing emotion and showing actions when these characters have their helmets on,
right?
They nail it every fucking time, and you can just see her sitting there staring into the water, and you know exactly what's going through her fucking mind at this point. She's like, "Holy fuck, did I just see what I think I saw?"
Right.
And that's kind of where the episode ends. It was pretty crazy.
I'm trying to find what that actually said.
What the plaque said?
Yeah.
I don't think it's that relevant. It's really not worth wasting anymore.
It records that the mines date back to Mandalorian the Great, their folklore tradition that there were once the lair of mythosaurs. The mythosaur skull was adopted as a symbol of their planet because it was said that Mandalore the Great tamed the mythosaur.
Right. That's not a euphemism. Tame the mythosaur.
I mean, maybe it was. And she seems awful into him all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Although she's probably been starving for fucking human contact for so long.
True.
You can only kick dirt for so long in your fucking giant castle.
Yeah, it didn't take much to convince her to like, all right, fuck, I'll go to Mandalore.
Yeah.
You know.
Fine, I'll go to Mandalore. Now you're going to send me coordinates to where?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't. All right, fine. I'll go with you there too.
Yeah.
Jeez, the things I'll do for some dick.
You think? Nah, she's not after that.
I mean, who's to say?
Yeah.
They gotta repopulate the thing somehow.
She's probably got
you
like.
think they keep their helmets on for that?
I mean,
When they're making more Mandalorians, you
by
think
Creed, they're supposed to.
just
I'm kind of wondering, do
clang, clang, clang.
do they have like Beskar vibrators and shit for the female Mandalorians? Like shit made out of Beskar, it's like.
I don't know. That's a lot of Beskar. It'd be an expensive vibrator.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm just saying.
it's interesting.
Yeah.
Further research would have to be done.
I mean, well, and that being the question, do they have sex toys in general in Star Wars? They have to.
I don't know. Like I was saying, like when we started rewatching Andor, and you got fucking, our first real sexy time imagery in Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
with old girl.
Yeah, where she shows up for a fucking booty call.
Yep.
That one night in Andor. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
maybe.
All
right. I mean,
maybe. All right. Between episodes, this is a perfect time.
Take a break.
For
all right.
For this to happen.
All right. So before we get into the next episode, we will take a very quick break and be right back after Dave pees and this word from our sponsors. And so I want to address something Joker Voice said in the chat. He said, do not put romantic element in the show. I really don't think they will. Honestly, like it despite what Dave just said, I don't think that they're leaning towards that whatsoever. This feels very, like I really don't see Din Djarin especially finding any kind of romance throughout the course of this show. He's too dedicated to the cause. He's too dedicated to being like Grogu's father. I do not anticipate that whatsoever. Really don't anticipate anything with Bo-Katan either. I mean, potentially some side characters. Hey, maybe Grief Karga finds a wife and gets married on Navarro or something like that. But no, I don't anticipate any of these main characters having any kind of romantic thing going on. It doesn't feel like it would be right in the story. Not that I, don't like seeing some type of romance in Star Wars in general. Like I would like to see at some point in season 2 of Andor, rekindling his flame with Bix before he gets torched on fucking Scarif, but we'll see. Let's see what else we talking about in the chat. Din wasn't into her till she was keeping the helmet. Oh, that changed everything. Dragon Buddy said Din wasn't into Bo-Katan until she decided to keep her helmet on. We could take that so many different ways.
What? You went over my helmet?
Yeah. I think I'm good. I don't think I need to use the bathroom. I did right before we started, so.
Good call.
That being the case, yeah, we can get started again once you give us a countdown.
Ready, set.
And we're back. So this is, can we just bitch one more time about daylight savings time? Because at this point in the show, it's already dark outside normally.
Usually.
It used to be. Now it's like fucking, we're getting towards the end. You take your pee break and it's still fucking light out. I'm like, this is just, it's wrong. It's different.
Yes, but remember, this is also the equinox. So
Yeah.
it's kind of
It's
like
the start of the.
Oh my god. Oh my fucking god.
What?
I have to so I'm trying to think of how I can tell this story without
Incriminating anyone?
Yes, exactly. So there was
I have no idea where he's going with
all right, fuck it. So I was imagine a person that that you're interacting with and you're talking about daylight savings time,
Yeah.
right? And they say to you, well, we're talking about getting rid of daylight savings time, right? And that person says, well, I'm worried that there wouldn't be enough sun for the plants. If you eliminate daylight savings time, then you lose that sun for the plants.
Legit.
100%. 100%. This came out of a woman's mouth.
Wow.
Yes.
Now, the gender is irrelevant because anybody can be stupid.
Yes. Anyone can be stupid. And this story came to me from somebody else, and and it was another female.
And the person's like, if we move the daylight savings, then we won't have enough sun for the plants.
Right. We eliminate daylight savings, and we'll. So this individual thought that when they go up to the oven to change the fucking time, that it somehow affects the sun.
Yeah. Like we're changing the rotation of the Earth and the position of the.
Yes. Wow. Yeah. That person operated a motor vehicle to get to the location where this was said.
Yeah.
And fucking makes decisions about other people's lives and watches Fox News and like
this is one of those moments where you wonder about humanity.
Yeah. It's like, are you yes, there's, if one person out there is that fucking stupid, there's more. There's more.
When I was, sidebar, but kind of related, when I was 5 years old, it was like 4 or 5 years old. I can still distinctly remember this. I was always afraid that if someone left like the water on in like the kitchen, or left like, really, if they left a water hose running outside, that like the whole world would fill up with water. And it always freaked me out.
That's a reasonable thing as a kid.
Yeah. Like I would tell my cousins, no, turn it off. We're going to fill up the whole earth with water.
What?
But again, I was like 4 or 5 years old at that point. An adult, Jason, understands that that's completely ridiculous.
Right.
Just as I understand that it's as ridiculous to think that we actually lose an hour of sunlight when we change the clocks back.
Yes. Yeah. That the plants would somehow lose sunlight. Think of all the farmers that would like.
Like, how would we live?
Yes.
All right. Anyway.
Yeah.
So
like it's sweet. Same people that think it would be safe to visit the sun at night because it wouldn't be as hot.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that's logical, right?
Obviously.
Because it's when it's dark out.
Yeah.
It's not as hot.
These people don't understand that the moon is bright because of the sun. Like the sun's actually shining on the moon, and that sunlight is coming to us.
Yeah.
That sunlight is a little bit older.
Yeah, the moon doesn't generate its own light.
Right.
Yeah.
Neither do planets.
That is true.
People. What's that meme where the explosions in front of that guy's head? Yeah. People are fucking dumb, man. And this is probably something I feel like it's something lacking in our education system, to be honest. I can't imagine that there's
hey, as long as drag queens can read kids' books, then everything's all cool in the gang. Then education is okay.
I can't believe I almost forgot to fucking relay that poor that woman's information. So yes, those of you that are worried about daylight savings time, please go and get your torches and pitchforks and make sure that you're letting your local congressman know
that we can't give up that hour of sunlight.
Yeah, that the plants the plants need that extra hour of sunlight. Farmers need that extra hour of sunlight, or else bad things will happen.
Yeah. Okay, so back to Mandalorian. Chapter 19 is called The Convert, which we will find out more about that as we go along. Starts off right where we left off in the last chapter, which was Bo-Katan and Mando on the shore of Lake Minnetonka.
Right.
Mando's still like passed out, and Bo-Katan's still like sitting there in shock. Helmet's still on, by the way. Gonna be relevant, which, I mean, I don't know about you, but it seemed pretty obvious where they were going with this.
Yeah.
Like as soon as she saw the mythosaur,
right?
Like she kept the helmet on after that. I'm like, I see where this is
going. Some shit was gonna change, right?
Yeah.
Well, and honestly, like
not that it's a bad thing.
As they were making the approach into Mandalore, right? As she was making the approach into Mandalore and kind of seeing what the planet was and kind of like going and walking around, and you kind of get the feeling that there was as cynical as she was being, that there was, because one other person had some glimmer of hope, that there was like this like small spark of hope. Like she was just putting on this like fucking super cynical, like this is obviously how she's hardened herself against losing her home planet. Understandable.
Sure. Yeah.
But at the same time, like this other person completely disregards the negativity and is like so dedicated to the fucking cause that it's like everything is just fucking magnificent. Like his entire existence revolved around the fact that this planet was dead to him and that he couldn't walk on it at all because it was poisoned.
Yeah.
And now the fact that he can, and he could actually do all this, like everything has changed. And now for her, this experience now and seeing this fucking mythical thing with her own fucking face.
Yep.
It's like, what the fuck? You know, there's something, and what I think the biggest impact of that episode was the fact there's something bigger alive on the planet.
Yeah.
Than just the fucking cavemen. You know, there's there was something else that was like survived, you know, through the bombing and through everything else, that like there's some life on the planet that will give it hope. And I think that's what she has something
that
like,
makes a lot of sense
to build off of. And this is why she's more, well, that and the fact that when they get back to her fucking home planet, the Imperials may or may not have bombed her fucking place to oblivion.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and really there's not much that happens as they're sitting there on the fucking shore. She's still just kind of staring off. He kind of wakes up and they're talking a little bit.
Oh God. What I miss.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, you bathed in the water. She's like, did you see anything down there? And he's like, no. And she's like, okay. So you can already see the wheels turning a little bit.
He didn't see it. So I have plausible deniability. I saw it.
But yeah, so you can tell she's kind of like questioning herself. Like, is that really what I saw?
Right. Do I go back in there?
Yeah. Yeah. So they beat feet out of there, and immediately they've got like TIE interceptors on their fucking asses as they're flying out of the fucking place. And where all these fucking Imperials came from all of a sudden is, I'm really curious about. And I'm assuming we'll get some sort of explanation about that.
I hope so.
Because
we all know that Dave likes TIE fighters.
Yes.
Okay. This is not news.
Yeah.
And TIE interceptors are not my favorite TIE fighter, obviously. But when they get the shot inside of the interceptor, and you get a TIE pilot with some new fucking face paint on the helmet, which actually I think is the same.
It was the red one, right? It was the red emblem? No?
It was like a gray streak.
Oh, like going down the middle?
No, it was like two. It was this.
I don't know.
Look.
Oh, in that like kind of triangle on the forehead. I don't know if they'll be able to see.
No,
this
see the streaks going past the
the mouth?
The mouth.
Oh, gotcha.
Going down, like I'm pretty sure that's what it looked like.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. But
see, if you hold it really, really close, it'll focus. Ready, Jason?
I don't think that's not how the Force works.
Let's just wait. It'll happen. Just let it happen, Jason. You can kind of see the paint. Yeah. There.
So anyway, they immediately get these interceptors on their asses, and they're like, these are a lot stronger than TIE fighters. So they have this master plan to fucking go down where Din's ship is, because his ship is still at her old fucking Palace of Solitude. And so he's going to do like a fucking drop, get in his ship, and then between the two of them, they'll take out the fucking TIE defenders, which we get a pretty sweet shot where he like goes to the back of the ship and just fucking ejects. And he's falling, and the fucking TIEs just go whipping by him as he's fucking free falling down. I'm like, wow, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, the sequence was actually fucking...
Yeah, well, then he gets into the fucking starfighter and immediately goes into a fucking vertical takeoff.
Yep.
Which, like, the way they presented that was fucking sweet.
Yeah. Did it surprise you that he left Grogu on the ship with
Yes.
with her?
Yes. Because honestly, that ship was like milliseconds from getting just fucking shot out of the goddamn sky.
I mean, Grogu went into the fucking, he put the blast shield up on the
Yeah.
on his pod.
So he may have survived a crash,
Yeah.
but
like, this thing can handle anything. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna sit in here, I'm gonna play video games and wait for this all to blow
I
over.
mean, if you remember from season 2 when he first met Bo-Katan, remember they had that fucking monster in the middle of that ship that they pushed fucking Grogu into and it swallowed him and he was fine after that.
Yeah,
so
it's no worries. Stomach acid, fucking explosions, plane crashes.
yeah, so his
No worries, he's good to go.
that pod's really good insulation. So yeah, but yeah, this whole fucking scene where they're running from the fucking TIE interceptors and then he goes down to the starfighter, fucking vertical takeoff, and then they just fucking destroy all these interceptors. It was fucking sweet, awesome. And I don't want to say space combat because they weren't in space. It was more aerial combat. It was surface level dogfighting, but it was fucking awesome. Really sweet scene. And somewhere here was when Bo-Katan looks down and the fucking TIE bombers just fucking just fucking carpet bomb the shit out of her Palace of Solitude, and she's all pissed off. So she's going to chase them, and fucking the radar just lights up with 1,000 fucking ships, and now all of a sudden they're getting chased away because there's too many of them.
And there was a fuck ton of them. Like it was like, where the fuck did they all come from?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's my question. It's like, why the fuck were all these Imperials here, and like, why now all of a sudden?
I'm actually playing the episode to that scene, so I can see
with the TIE fighter.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, when you find it,
I will. I'll let it go and I'll stop it when we're
okay. But yeah, it's weird how this fucking massive Imperial presence was there all of a sudden. Like, were they always on that fucking moon of Mandalore, and then they sensed or they detected that these people were like flying around in the area? Like, I'm curious where that all came from, because that couldn't have been for just nothing, right?
Right. There had to be a concerted fucking either a concerted attack or a concerted effort to go after her.
Yeah.
There's some reason for it. Mm-hmm. And that was a well-timed end.
Yeah.
My part of this was obviously the TIE fighter, and where I was going with that is like, so now I need a TIE interceptor and I need Bo-Katan's ship in Lego.
Yeah, her ship's pretty nice.
I
do like
that.
her ship.
I need that in my life. I need that one, and I need the fucking the Bad Batch ship. That's for next week.
Oh yeah,
that's for next week.
All right. Well, next week's not the Bad Batch. Bad Batch is in 2 weeks.
What's next week?
Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh shit! All right, yeah.
But we'll talk about that later. So anyway. So yeah, all this happens. They get fucking chased out of the fucking moon because there's just too much of an Imperial presence. And Din's like, I got coordinates to a friendly place. And so they fucking blast off into hyperspace. Complete change of scene at this point.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden we're on fucking Coruscant.
Yes.
It's
so
like, whoa.
This episode is a different episode, basically.
Yes. Yeah.
This is, I don't know. If there was Boba Fett 2.5, this is something.
Andor 1.2.
Yeah, it's
because this whole next sequence has a real Andor vibe to it. Mm-hmm. And I know some people criticized it. As we were watching it, Kristen didn't like this part. I really enjoyed this different story that they were telling about these characters that we've seen before in Mandalorian. Did you find it?
Yeah.
Oh, yep. It's got the streaks. That's why they call it the streak. So
I'm sure some significance to that. I really wish Disney would let me fucking screenshot shit.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it's
it's fucking bullshit. They don't let you. It's like, fuck you. Take a picture of it with your phone or something. But yeah, so this whole like section of the episode, which first of all, this episode was an hour long, which we had gotten like God, it was like 38 minutes for the first episode, then like 45 minutes for the second.
Right.
And now we're on like a whole hour, which, by the way, next week is only going to be like 30 minutes.
Well,
allegedly.
this episode really was 2 episodes in one.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And so that's why it was an hour. We got 2 half-hour episodes.
Yeah. And again, I know a lot of people didn't like this side story. I thought it was very intriguing because it adds some new aspects to canon that we didn't know about. The biggest thing for me being this whole fucking amnesty program, right? Because they really kind of,
Yeah.
you know, they really go into that where they're taking all these former Imperials and they're basically putting them through a fucking re-education camp. And they're calling it the amnesty program and they're putting them back to work and doing whatever fucking menial jobs they have for them. And yeah, it's just, I find this a very interesting aspect of what the Republic did post Return of the Jedi. And
It has, like, it smacks of, like, something the Empire would do, though, right? Like,
right.
Like, it's like Empire stuff. Lots of Empire stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
Well, even when we get to the end of this, when they're doing like the shock treatment therapy.
Yeah.
You know, like that's some fucking, that seems more Empire-like than Republic, even though it's like, oh, well, the lightest voltage setting just makes you happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm going to leave it completely unattended for a
Right.
few minutes.
Sure, that was your friend. Yeah, no, nothing bad could happen.
Right. So kind of getting back to the beginning of this, we're on Coruscant. It's very obvious that we're on Coruscant as soon as we change scenes here.
Right.
And immediately we go to the fucking opera house, which I know I recognized as soon as I saw it. I don't know if you felt the same way, but like as soon as they show that outside shot, because that was the exact same shot that we see in fucking Revenge of the Sith, where Anakin's running up the fucking stairs, George Lucas and his daughter are standing right there.
You know what? I didn't even think about that.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. No, I recognized it immediately. I'm like, oh, the fucking opera house, and now it's been repurposed as like as this place where they make these fucking amnesty people just get up and, you know, completely renounce the Empire in this public setting. And that's where we come across fucking Dr. Pershing, who we know from the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian. He was one of the clone doctors,
Right.
doing shit with Grogu.
Yep.
And you know, putting their finger in his butt and all that. But yeah, like he's up there, he's like completely denouncing the Empire. You know, he thought he was doing good. He's seen the error of his ways. Again, some real just like fucking, I think you just nailed it when you said it's like, seems like something the Empire would do. You know, this like public shaming almost. And, you know, later when they talk about the amnesty housing and how it's like, yeah, it's okay, you know, so they stick them in, you know, this weird public housing.
And then they're all like given numbers.
Yeah.
They're not names anymore. They have numbers.
Right.
It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, welcome to the concentration camp.
Yeah.
Like, not to.
I mean, it's not as, you know,
So,
extreme.
I'm not trying to. Obviously, it's not a concentration camp.
No,
I'm not trying
but
to downplay it at all. But just the fact that like you're putting them in this setting, and then now you're assigning them numbers. They're no longer people. Like, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah.
Like, what are they? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. And it's, again, just, you think that the New Republic is just, oh, they're all good and pure and they're the right way. It's like, are they though? Because there's already been talks about disarmament, and we all know what happens when the fucking New Republic disarms. But again, that's other stuff that we'll get to later. So yeah, they're going through this whole fucking re-education program, and we see Elia Kane, who was like an officer on Moff Gideon's ship.
Right. Which you see her in the recap.
Yes,
in
which is the
beginning
only
of this.
reason why I knew who she was,
Right.
right? Because if they had not shown that in the recap, I'd be like, who's this fucking manly looking broad?
Well, I kind of before the recap, I kind of remembered her from being on Moff Gideon's ship.
Okay. I wouldn't have remembered if they
Yeah.
hadn't showed her in that.
I had some slight recall.
Yeah.
But she was just a cranky functionary, like kind of a bitchy person,
Yeah.
right? Very Empire. Like, this is what females are in the Empire. They have to be like real fucking just bitchy.
Yeah. But they, you know, and that's probably something that they just have to do just to get ahead.
Yeah.
You know, in a man's world. So they got to put up that rough exterior. But yeah, no, like when we see her here, oh, she's all just like smiles and just like, yeah, no, I love the Republic. Yeah, fuck the sun, you know.
Yeah, fuck the sun. I hate it too.
You know. So and she's just like, and it's so fucking obvious that she's playing him like from the very start.
Yeah.
Like I there's no fucking way like anybody with like half a brain.
Well, I will say that it took me a minute to figure out what the game was.
Right.
I knew there was a game afoot,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know what exactly it was.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's still not 100% clear at this point.
I do.
Okay.
I mean, we'll save our theories for the end.
Okay.
But
so yeah, no, she immediately befriends him once he gets to the fucking internment camp. And they're all talking and sharing stories about the glory days. What? What are you staring at?
I just look over at the chat.
Uh-huh.
Just glance over.
No fingers in holes. I don't know what the reference is.
I don't either.
Yeah.
And then there's like Luke drinking from the teats.
Well, and this is
Like,
why you just got to tune in because
yes.
the chat goes off in their own different direction. Like
it's like that's why I
Yeah.
shouldn't look over at it.
yeah,
I'm
because
like
it gets far
now-
away from what we're
now
talking
I'm trying
about.
to like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. So anyway, like he gets to the internment camp, and they're all giggling in the courtyard there, and they're
Drinking.
Yeah, and they're sharing Empire stories. Like, oh, what do you miss about the Empire? And
Nothing. Empire's bad. Remember, we were at the fucking. They integrated us. We're not allowed to say good things about the Empire.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, no, not about that. I mean, like, shit like the food.
Yeah, the biscuits.
Right.
Yeah, the white biscuits, and they start talking about that, and then of course, later on, somebody rings his fucking doorbell, and there's a box of those fucking biscuits right there. And did they have the Empire logo on the package?
Yeah, they did.
I thought I noticed that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
they did.
which that would have been
Hey,
like
so-
super contraband at that.
So
point.
if you're in Galaxy's Edge, and they sell those biscuits, then
we'll have to get some.
yes, you will have
Yeah.
to get some.
All right, I'll keep an eye out.
Yes.
In May. So yeah, and immediately like she's befriending him, and he's talking about wanting to continue his research for good, right? He wants to clone like fucking organs and stuff like
Right.
that, whereas the Empire was having him do other
Right.
stuff.
Which 100% believe that this dude was like, it's one of those where like, yeah, this guy is a complete boob.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, I definitely like, I can help people.
Mhm.
Like I'm oblivious to the fact that everyone else in the world is evil
Yeah,
and they will do evil things. But I know I want to help people.
yeah,
Like, yeah, okay, come on, let's help people.
yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna use you to help our people.
Right. So, and yeah, she's like immediately coaxing him to like fucking break the rules,
Right.
leave the fucking the radius, because they have like a radius where they can only go.
Right.
Apparently it's only to the fair where you can lick on those fucking
The fucking
the glowy ice creams.
Hang on, Vickers had a good one for that. He said the worst force sensitive glowing fudge pop whatever fuck scene in Star Wars. Worse than goddamn Boba's Power Rangers on floating mopeds.
No. Nothing is worse than the fucking Power Rangers in Boba Fett. I'm sorry.
It's exponentially speaking, like for just having two fucking of these things, a red and a pink one, or a pink and a blue one rather, that, hey, you're melting. Like, come on, buddy.
Real quick, since we're talking about Ellie, she's rather mannish. I was shown some pictures today of her in real life.
Oh,
of
really?
This actress. We'll start here. That's actually her. I thought it was a fake picture at first, and then got that. So she's. I mean,
She works out.
she does work out. She's pretty buff, but she also definitely looks like she prefers the company of other women.
Hey. And I bet you those other women enjoy it.
Yeah, indeed. So sorry, that was a weird sidebar. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, ice cream. So yeah.
Like lame gay fudge pops or glowing Jedi fudge sickles.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just lame. Just genuinely lame. It's like,
well, and it was all just so they could have more conversation about like his research, and it's the beginning of her trying to like,
oh, let's share some cotton candy, and just like,
and by the way, you should start your lab up again, and all of this. And homeboy completely oblivious.
like, yeah, I'd like to start my lab up again. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah,
Be nice.
yeah. So she eventually convinces him to go to the military scrapyard because he wanted to continue his research for the Republic, and they're like, no.
Yeah.
He asked the fucking,
in accordance with the Coruscant Accords, 39 fucking 6903.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Because he asked the therapist droid.
Yeah.
Like, I love the therapist. Have you been having feelings of regret towards?
Yeah. Do you have angry feelings towards your coworkers?
Yeah.
No. Like, this is the every military physical ever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Do you have bad feelings about this? Do you have negative feelings about yourself? No. Like, oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Please come again later.
Yeah. Very emotionless.
Right.
And he asked her like, hey, can I do my cloning research? And she's like, no.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
He said, anything else I can do for you?
Yeah. So, and he was really upset about that. So yeah, homegirl convinces him to go to the scrapyard because he discovers that they're going to decommission all this fucking Imperial technology that could have been used for either research or whatever.
Right.
But again, they're like, no, nothing Imperial.
Like, hey, listen, just between us, you're kind of behind, and we have all this other shit we have to fucking inventory.
Yeah.
You're like, why are we inventorying stuff that we're destroying? That doesn't make any sense. No, 100% makes sense. Anybody who spent fucking 5 minutes in the military will tell you that what he's sitting there and doing makes absolute sense. Or either been in the military, working a government job. Like, oh, we're going to inventory everything right before we destroy it. Gotcha.
Yep.
Cool. Do we have any idea how much stuff we have? None. Okay. We're going to destroy all of it. Yep. Okay.
But you got to log every single thing, every item, every serial number,
every single fucking thing. Okay, cool. Then after it's destroyed, yeah, we're going to log it again. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we can't just do it all at once? No.
Yeah.
No.
That's not how the Force works.
Yes, that is not how the Force works.
So she convinces him to go to the fucking scrapyard, and it was pretty cool when they got out there. Like they're taking the fucking train, and there's this whole long sequence where they're running from the fucking ticket takers, the ticket taking droids, who like they see people who are obviously avoiding them, and it's just slowly walking towards the end of
Tickets,
the train.
Please. You know what it made me think of? That scene in Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade, when Harrison Ford, when Indy gets up and he takes he gets the jacket off of one of the fucking bus people on the blimp, and then the German officer comes up to Sean Connery and it's like, oh, Dr. Jones. Right. And then Harrison Ford comes up to him and says, tickets, please. And he turns around and Harrison Ford like decks him and he goes flying out the fucking window into the pile of luggage. And then Harrison Ford turns and goes, no ticket. And everyone gets their fucking ticket out. That's what made me think of it.
That's good.
Sorry, that was a long fucking explanation. You knew what I was talking about, goddammit.
They use that line again in Dogma too. You remember Silent Bob when he threw Bartleby and Loki off the train, and people look at him, he's like, no ticket.
Yep.
Anyway, the fuck are we talking about? Oh yeah. So we get out to the scrapyard and you see a fucking Star Destroyer like being taken apart and fucking decommissioned. I'm like, oh,
what a great shot.
Yeah.
Just like, it's just one of those, there's been a couple times in this show where they've shown like that big field of fucking of dreams.
Yeah, like a big exterior shot like that.
Exterior of just these ships that are just being cut to pieces.
Yeah,
because that's what else are you going to do with them, right? You're decommissioning these ships.
You got to like scrap it, take all the metal, sell it to Gillette,
Yeah. Or I guess in a city world like Coruscant, I guess they probably take all that metal and fucking use it to build buildings.
Yeah, we got to keep building, you know?
Yeah. Got to keep building up. Although, rewinding real quick, the fucking, it makes you wonder so they show that one peak of Coruscant, like the tallest building,
The mountain,
the tallest mountain in Coruscant, which I actually thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, because it's like apparently the only place where you can see a portion of the actual planet.
The planet. So I thought that was actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then like, I thought later after this episode had been over, I was like, you know what? I think that she played that trick on him just to see how gullible he really was going to be in all this.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, how is this guy really, if I just keep doing this, is he going to keep going along with this? Like, is it going to be this easy? And then like, he's going to go do this thing. And it's like, oh yeah, this guy.
Sure enough, it was that easy.
This guy is a fucking noob. And I'm going to take complete advantage of, or do whatever it is I'm going to do.
Yeah, and she didn't even have to pull out, plan B, like going, I'll suck your dick and all that stuff. Like, she didn't even have to go there. She's just like, you should just continue your research.
Like, I'll take your virginity.
Yeah.
She probably still have it.
Yeah. But yeah, didn't even have to play that card. So yeah, they get out there, and that's another thing too. This whole sequence on Coruscant, like, a lot of it is effects, a lot of it's a set. Never really felt like that though. Like I felt like they were really there. It was very immersive.
Yeah.
At no point did I feel like these people weren't actually on Coruscant.
Yeah.
And in these locations, going through this fucking old Star Destroyer. And
what they are doing right now with that round fucking, that set design and what it's got me fooled.
yeah.
Like, there hasn't been a point where I've looked at it and going like, wow, that really doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Like everything has looked so fucking good, and we're getting movie quality shit. Like, even talking about Kathy watching Andor, she's like, I feel like I'm watching a movie.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, yeah, this is how good Star Wars is right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we're so fucking lucky.
Yep. So fuck, what else happened here? Yeah, so they go through, he grabs the science, which apparently, again, this is nitpicking, I know, but I guess he can complete all of his research with just like a box and some other fucking just random shit that he threw in there, and he can complete the research that he's been working on for years.
Right.
Which, okay, whatever. But yeah, they get out and boom, all of a sudden surrounded by fucking New Republic people.
Right.
And at first, like, I'm half expecting, because they take him and they're like, I can't remember what they said to her, but they're like, thank you, Agent whatever.
Well, they just used her number. I
think. And they take him. I was fully expecting them to be like, all right, let's go. And then I'll get into like an Imperial ship and fly off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was expecting these to be like undercover Imperials the whole time, but they weren't. They were just Republic fucking troops who...
Yeah, she ratted him out to the locals.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, right? Because she's a plant.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Until we get to so if we're just taking this at face value, right, and we're waiting till we get to the end scene.
Yeah, which is, we're not far from that, so we might as well get there.
Yeah, so you have what the hell was that?
What?
Javon Hargrave immediately betrays Eagles with NFC Championship comment. Motherfucker.
Okay.
I don't know. It's fucking. The headlines for the NFL lately have been so clickbaity.
Yeah.
It makes me want to fucking throat punch somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah. So they get him back, and like, yeah, they're gonna put him through the fucking electroshock therapy.
Right. And they got one of the what the fuck are they called, the Akbar people,
Mon Calamari.
Mon Calamari fucking dude, and he's a scientist. He knows what he's fucking in. It's like, I know what this is.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, that's not what this is. Like, I fucking know what this is.
Yeah.
And like, no, we're not the Empire here, son.
Yeah, we just put it on a low voltage and it makes you happy.
It'll make you'll see some colors. It'll be fucking fine. Just
Yeah.
stop being a bitch. Just lay here and take it.
Yep.
We know converting is tough.
Yeah. Oh, and at some point somebody mentioned it's not a trap.
It's not a trap.
And then the Mon Calamari just makes, just kind of has
Yeah.
a look, and then
Yes.
that was good.
Yeah, it was. It was a good little throw in there. And you see her standing there, and it's like, okay, I guess you're led to believe that she is working with people on the inside as kind of like a QA, right?
Sure.
So what you're up to this point, you're led to believe like, okay, that like she's just working with the inside to make sure that if people are starting to go astray, that like she'll turn them in, right? So they were testing. No, that's obviously not what happens,
Right?
Because once she tells old boy like, hey, hey, we can go now, and she's like, no, I'd like to stay. We were friends, blah blah blah. He's like, okay, yeah, I understand.
I'll leave you alone with the controls.
Right here, this knob right here,
Uh-huh.
that you can turn to 11.
Yeah.
And cook this dude,
Yeah,
which nobody else is watching.
Right.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Like nobody's gonna be in the room watching, making sure everything's okay. No Total Recall fucking thing gonna happen. No, none of that shit.
Yeah.
Nope. Just fucking watch it turn up to 11, and then he's just cooking.
And yeah, now he's probably fucking lobotomized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So
why?
right, and that's my question. Like, is she trying to just like completely fry his brain to eliminate any of that knowledge?
Yes.
And if that's the case, who is she doing that for?
For the Empire.
Now, so
I saw Thrawn being thrown around in the fucking chat.
I think that's 100%. A pipe dream. I think they're saving Thrawn for Ahsoka.
Thrawn. It had nothing to do with Thrawn. This has like the element of, what's his nuts? The fucking
Gideon.
Gideon. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, brain. The fact that she came from Moff Gideon's ship.
Yeah.
Gideon is part of the plan.
And they were even talking about how there were rumors that he escaped before he got to the tribunal.
Right. He was part of the big plan.
Yeah.
And her being there, I think, is also part of that same plan. It's like, hey, this is what the rebellion is doing, or the New Republic is doing, like with people. We need people on the inside to make sure that if anything is found out, like these scientists, if they fucking reveal that, like, hey, we're working on a clone of the Emperor. If that shit gets out, then we need to nip that in the bud.
Okay. So you think it was more about keeping him from talking about what he was actually working on?
Yeah.
With the Republic.
100%.
Oh, okay.
It's like, okay, we don't need you like, I'm sure you went through interrogations and everything else and whatever the Republic did, but I think the reality is, like, if he started working on those technologies, then they would discover like what the capability is, and then somehow would lead to discovering that the Emperor isn't dead.
Right.
And
somehow Palpatine returned.
Yes. Somehow. And that's what I got out of it. And
yeah,
that's why, like, her or somebody, if Moff Gideon, like, all right, his ship is parked somewhere, right? Because he got rolled up. So she obviously had an alternative mission. Like, all these people are basically that are still a part of the remnant have like second and third order probably missions.
Oh, of course.
Because hey, if you get rolled up, this is what our expectations are. Like, this is all part of the big plan. All right.
Yeah, Palpatine thought of everything.
Right. And if you if you get caught and you can't fucking get out of it, then fucking bite the fucking magic and kill yourself. Like because
we've seen that twice now.
Yeah.
Once in Bad Batch and once in Mandalorian.
Yeah. So we know that that's out there.
Yeah.
That the people that are still with the Empire, there's the end game is that you're not gonna live to tell about what's really going on. And I think that's why that you see her in there in this thing. And the hubris of the fucking New Republic to even have this repatriation fucking camp for people that come out of the Empire it just smacks of what got them in trouble in the fucking first place.
Oh yeah.
She even says it in one of her little speeches, and she's like, yeah, it's just blindly following orders is what got us in trouble in the first place.
Yep.
And this is exactly what's happening. Yeah. With the New Republic. it's fascinating that this didn't come up in any of the other stuff that we've read so far.
True.
And maybe it is in a book that we just haven't gotten to, but I don't remember reading about this in Aftermath, in Bloodline. Like,
well, you got to remember, this is a time period
Well-
that's very
yeah,
not hasn't been covered as much yet.
true.
Is this initial like 5 to 10 years after
It's-
Return of the Jedi?
But it's something that I'm surprised that with what the Republic is doing hasn't gotten out somehow,
yeah.
right? Like in some kind of way. But I would imagine that this type of thing is only going to go but so far. Like think about what's happening with fuck. There was a book series with the hang on. Let's see if I have it over here. Fuck. It's one with the fucking it's based on it was the TIE Squadron. Like the commander was a female.
Inferno Squad?
Inferno Squad.
Yeah.
No, not Inferno Squad. That's the one from
Battlefront one.
Battlefront. No. This is shit. Fuck. What are these books?
And this is the new canon?
Yeah, this is from fuck. I was reading a book series and it got like it got real slow.
About a TIE Squadron.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anyway, she basically turned, right? She was with the Empire and she turned and then ultimately goes back.
huh.
Um
Yeah.
Alphabet Squad. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you. Alphabet Squad.
I did not read those.
Yeah, I never finished the second book, and I know in the third book somebody spoiled it for me that basically she goes back to the Empire, which I really need to finish that series.
Anyway,
Just for shits and giggles.
well, we also need to finish this episode, so let's keep rolling. So yeah, homegirl lobotomizes what's his name. Who knows what's going to happen from there? If we're even going to see him again, or if he's just going to be a vegetable for the rest of the time.
I can't imagine he's going to be worth much of anything after all that.
Yeah, but then we're not done because we go back to Din Djarin and Bo-Katan as they get to their quote unquote friendly space, and it's the Children of the Watch, their lair. They roll up. Psh, everybody outside the cave is like or like all of the people from the Children of the Watch come outside of the cave, and they're kind of squaring up to Mando and Bo-Katan, like, what the fuck you doing? And he's like, I've bathed in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. Here's a vial.
Right. I've got proof.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
all
So
right,
they're
we'll
like,
see.
yeah, go see the armor, gives the vial to the armor, pours it in. Magic dust happens.
Right.
And it's like, yes, that is true. You've bathed in the waters. So I hereby declare you once again.
You are no longer an
prostate.
You're no longer a prostate.
Yes. And then she looks over at Bo, who up to this point still has not taken off her helmet. And it seemed like they made a point to show us constantly that she had her fucking helmet on.
Right.
And she's like, you too bathed in the waters. And she's like, yeah. It's like, all right, well, you two are now, blessed, and you are no longer a prostate. You are now one of us. And she's like, well, I'm not really part of your thing. And she's like, well, you can leave whenever you want, but as long as you keep your helmet on, you are now one of us. And yeah, everybody's like, fucking yeah, afterwards, except for Paz Vizsla. The whole time, Paz Vizsla is like, just kind of, now he's the new Bo-Katan. He's like off in the corner fucking sulking, right? So, yeah, Bo, as of right now, is a child of the Watch, the same faction that she, really villainized in previous episodes. But like we said before at the top of the episodes, her seeing that mythosaur and, Din Djarin kind of being that person that sort of brought her out of her slump, so to speak.
Right.
And maybe this is the way for her now too. And as of right now, she's going along with it.
Yeah. Well, she lost her home anyway.
Right. Yeah. She's
And
got no fucking place else to go.
Yeah. And for some reason, the Imperials are on top of her.
Yeah.
So, and there's
for whatever reason.
Yeah, and there's no explanation for that as of yet. So, yeah, what better thing does she have than to hide amongst these other Mandalorians?
Yeah.
So, as a survival mechanism, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? They seem to have managed to make it work out so far. So,
yeah. Swede said how Bo-Katan got her groove back. Yeah, man, totally. And I'm really curious because I had mentioned it before on the show. Like, I did not like where her character was going with the whole just like sulking in the castle by herself and just being kind of a cunt and just, you know, not being a very pleasant character. Now, all of a sudden, maybe she has a new purpose. Maybe this is going to lead to her retaking the role of the leader of the Mandalorians. Who knows? So,
who knows indeed.
But I liked this episode overall. There was a couple of ridiculous things. Like, I do think that the whole Dr. Pershing part took maybe a little bit too long.
Well, it's funny. I saw a meme that kind of described something that is important, and it's there. Like you have people out there that are like, oh, you know, Filoni and Favreau are going to retcon somehow the sequel trilogy, and get rid of the clone Palpatine or whatever.
Right.
And then Filoni and Favreau immediately are, basically have these episodes of Bad Batch and fucking Mandalorian that
are essentially confirming it.
Are confirming how the cloning and everything came about.
Yeah, and it's actually funny too because like they're both kind of following that storyline, both Bad Batch and Mandalorian, like at different points in the timeline,
right?
But they're both still dealing with that post-Camino cloning technology and these scientists in those same fucking uniforms,
right? Yeah,
so.
it's interesting that the vectors are it's tangential, but it's very similar.
Yeah, and you think that they probably did this on purpose.
Oh, it has to be. It has to be.
Where we're getting these concurrent episodes in two different series taking place in two different timelines, but still having to do with that same story thread.
And it kind of makes sense. Like if all things kind of fall the way that it looks like they're going to fall, then it makes sense that they did them both at the same time. We question their why put two series out right when we could be having more Star Wars throughout the year.
Yeah, and now it's like, I guess they knew what they were fucking doing.
God, in Filoni we trust, right?
Yeah.
We got to fucking
give Dave control of Lucasfilm.
Yeah, not me. No, not me. But
I'd still take you over fucking Cunt Kennedy. But
yeah, dude, I watched the whole Imagineering series.
Yeah,
did I bring that up the other day?
You mentioned it last week.
Yeah.
That you were watching part of it.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
No, I definitely want to watch it. I'm really interested in that kind of stuff. So, but anyway, any last words on Mandalorian chapters 18 and 19?
No, just I agree with you. I think the episode in general, it was an interesting sidebar for the Pershing bit, and I think they maybe felt like they had to do that to kind of close the loop on something.
Yeah.
All right, hey, let's close the loop on this, because as we go forward, we would wonder about that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, where's this guy, or what happened with this? And like, no, we know exactly what happened with that, because
yeah,
we fried that noodle.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep. All right, cool. Well, that being said, I guess we can really wrap this up and see if Miss Lopez.
Yes.
Are you okay today? you look a little different.
Different how?
It's something with your eyes.
They're different eyes.
Yeah. Did you have some work done recently?
Yeah, a little bit. They're fresh.
Oh,
right?
Wow. Yeah, you look younger.
Yeah, they're nice and fresh.
Yeah, all right.
They're fresh eyes.
Okay.
They're fresh, so we can rotate them through, and if we want to, if anybody's into the eyes, we can.
Oh, you mean like your previous eyes, like the original JLo eyes?
Yeah.
Maybe do something with those. maybe see if our listeners might want those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we do some. Hang on.
You all right down there?
That's gonna bother me.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
Oh, there you are.
I feel a little better.
Yeah, yeah, it's weird. You look very different from what I'm used to, but are you okay? Are you a snake? Like you look like you're about to dislocate your jaw.
I can't. I got a flip top head.
Oh, okay.
Ben likes it.
I believe it. Oh, this is kind of related to you. We were talking about Canadians at work today.
Oh, with their big flopping heads.
Yes, and that's exactly what I said. I'm like, oh, with their stupid Canadians with their flapping heads and their beady eyes.
Yeah.
And nobody got the reference.
What?
I know. I'm like, oh, come
My
on,
God
people.
in heaven.
You are a racist, ma'am. You are a racist.
You're a racist. You're a racist, sir. You're a racist.
But yeah, nobody got it. But then seeing your smaller eyes made me think of that.
How on earth? I don't know if they're smaller.
Yeah, I think they are a little bit. Or they're
They are smaller.
yeah, that's fine. You look great though. So I guess what do you got for us today? We're doing some Red 5 reads.
Yeah,
or...
so let's talk Red 5. Following our podcast after the weekend, we'll be going live at 2100, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight, where R2 and JT will be asking that fateful question, is this JT's last episode? Ooh.
Oh, drama.
Ooh, dun dun dun.
Sounds like clickbait to me.
Dun dun dun. Hop in the chat and show them some support. Tell them the sidebar sent you. The Red 5 network has 29.
3 weeks later.
Whoops.
Shit. The nighttime is the right time. The nighttime is the right time.
I'm 37?
The nighttime is the right time.
Wrong button.
29 plus
I'm 37?
8. It would be 37.
Yes.
But there's 29 active podcasts plus 6 archive pods for a grand total of 36.
Kelly,
That's
fix
not-
this.
that's
Fix
not right.
this. You've got Red 5 connections. Fix this.
No,
This
29 plus 6 is 35.
is even
Not
worse.
36.
Yeah. So handle this.
Check out the new and improved bio.link/red5. That's bio.link/red5. Still need to work on that.
Mm-hmm.
To browse this amazing lineup and click on a podcast, I think I know why my shoulder's blown out.
Because of you?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be.
Shit,
Oh my.
shit hurts.
That would be. I mean, kind of hilarious, but not cool.
It's not just that, but you know.
Yeah.
Anyway. God damn it.
Yeah, we really need to get you
Yeah, some sort of stool or something.
platform.
Uh,
I don't know.
Oh, bio.link/red5 to browse this amazing lineup and click on a podcast and where to find them. Little Girl once again updated it last week. Added all of our podcasting icons to the page. It also turns pretty colors. So, please check it out and make her happy. There's something for everyone in the Red 5 network. Cantina Family Happenings! Used and Abused will be continuing their March Music Madness tomorrow with the music of Suicidal Tendencies.
Oh. I know like 2 of their songs.
Join Scott and... I can't believe my eyes are smaller.
Yeah.
Join Scott and special guest Dragon Buddy at 2000 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight on the YouTubes. ATSW The Escape Pod returns next week.
What?
On Wednesday, March 29th. They're actually going to do a show?
For real?
That's what it says.
Oh.
Wednesday, March 29th. Well, that's next week.
Oh.
So they still got 9 days. You like how I read that?
Yes. Yeah. I like how you actually look down.
Yeah.
So.
Even though it's on the screen, I could have looked at the screen there, but no. Check out their back catalog on audio and YouTube and relive the shenanigans, because you have to, because otherwise you wouldn't. Because they haven't done a show.
Right.
Sweet
Sweet Studios is wheezing from all the dust he's working on. And it's been dominating his time. Okay,
Hints.
hints. Plus, he's got a sexy red baby. Follow.
And just real quick in the chat, Swede just said if anyone does a Seven Dust episode, they better have him on. Seven Dust.
What's that have to do with what we're saying right now?
I don't know. Well, you were just reading the Sweet Studios thing.
Yeah, but that doesn't have anything to do with Seven Dust.
Sure.
I mean, what are you implying?
I'm just
Does
reading
that
what's
have
in the
something
chat.
to do with the hints?
Yes.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Revelations.
Wow.
All right, carry on.
That almost made my eyes get bigger. But they can't because he put the wrong ones on.
You're going to have to go back to your surgeon.
Go follow Sweet Studios on the socials for updates on his latest projects. The Orange and Fit Show released episode 70, Contact, on Spotify last week. Yeah, Contact.
I love that movie.
Yeah, great book.
I think we talked about that last
Yeah,
week.
good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Carl Sagan.
Yes.
Yeah, good shit. Follow them on Instagram for updates. Layman's Terms took the weekend off. You know what, Keith? You can do that. Yeah, enjoy your weekend off. Unlike the skate pod who takes like a month off and then like acts like it's not a big deal. It's kind of a big deal.
I almost saw Keith Lehman on Friday night.
How do you almost see somebody?
Well, because he was at a place like just up the road
Yeah?
here, and he messaged me. He's like, "Hey, you want to come hang out?" But I was feeling like shit that night. Like I thought I was getting sick.
Yeah.
Like I thought I had like a sore throat and a fever and all that. So
Yeah.
I
You
politely.
almost had a sore throat and
No, I did have a sore throat and fever, but
Oh.
it ended up not. I woke up like the next day feeling okay. So
Oh.
if it was sickness, it was just like a 1 day thing.
wow.
Yeah. So I almost saw Keith Lehman. He
Almost.
He was just half a mile up the road.
Almost.
Yep.
So close.
Yep.
Cool story, bro.
I know.
Give him a follow on the socials. That would be layman's terms. Give them a follow on the socials and sub on the YouTubes for your primary source of ignorance and drunken banter. You ready?
Yeah.
You can find us at bio.link/the Sidebar Cantina, where you'll find our links to YouTube, audio, Patreon, our latest Spotify music mixtape, and all our social media platforms, including Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Discord, TikTok, and we're now on Audible. Yes.
Were we not before?
No, we were not.
Oh, how did we get on Audible?
Dave clicked the thing that says go to Audible.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was just like, oh, yeah, there it is. Click.
Yeah. See, that's
And there you go.
yeah.
Sometimes it just takes an extra set of eyes.
Yeah. And you would know.
Yes. So, just slightly smaller set of eyes. And then voila. So yeah, we're on Audible now.
All right. I didn't even know, or maybe I did know podcasts were on Audible.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So if you're on Audible and you're not getting us on other stuff, or if you are getting us on other stuff, who cares? Get us on Audible too.
And leave us a review.
And leave us a review because you can do that.
Yes.
Winegar added the shortcut to the top of our bio link. So check it out. bio.link/the Sidebar Cantina. Also in our bio link is our T-Pop merch shop. We have our F Cancer and Jason Roast Asides. You will see he's getting excited. Our super sexy Twi'lek sidebar chick. Our beloved Hennifer, that's me. Our Sidebar Cantina logo. 2 throwback designs from a Gen X point of view. There are t-shirts, hoodies, tote bags, phone cases, exclusive stickers, pins, wall arts, magnets, notebook, laptop cases.
Don't look at me.
Pillows!
Uh,
How is that pillow, Jason?
I honestly have not seen it in weeks. I don't know where it is.
Where is it hiding?
I have no idea. You have to ask Kristen.
Is it what movie was that where somebody had sex with something and it like turned
American Pie?
yeah, that Yeah, just like that, Jason. Just like American
I don't know
Pie.
what you're talking about.
No, it was. Oh fuck! What the hell show is that? Damn it!
A show where somebody was fucking a pillow?
No, it was like oh it was Rick and Morty.
Oh, I don't.
He fucked a sex doll, and then it like ended up having babies.
Oh, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
it was like an alien. It was actually a good episode.
Okay.
And then the alien turned into like a giant and it started killing everybody.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. That's an old episode.
Okay.
So, yeah. You should be watching Rick and Morty.
Oh, I know. I've been told by many a people.
Where was I? Oh, yeah, fuck pillow. So, get your fuck pillow with Jason's face on it. And just about anything else you can imagine. Make sure to tag us on the social medias to prove or show off that sweet ass merch. Reading. Reviews!
We actually got a review on Audible.
Holy shit!
They did not specify whether or not they wanted anyone in particular to read it, so...
Hang on. I have a read here.
Okay.
We have an Audible review! Which Jason will now read as I look lovingly into his eyes.
Jesus Christ. From Shit. You're more looking at the wall, but oh god. From Dave. From Dave Rants to Jason Fuck Pillow Escapades. So small.
It's okay, Jason. Just keep talking. Come on.
Ending with the best part of the show, Hennifer doing the Red 5 reads.
Yeah. Yeah, do it, boy.
You'll be busting a gut all episode long while being informed about Star Wars music, movies,
So
and the
sexy,
love
yeah.
of space.
Yeah.
Oh, my eyes are burning. Dave and Jason know how to entertain their audience while having a no fucks to give. Give them a listen. They are one of the many hashtag Red 5 podcasts. Red 5 Network podcasts. Jesus Christ. I can't.
Is this making you uncomfortable?
Yes.
This is actually kind of comfortable. I like it over here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is better on the shoulder?
Yeah. I have to lean on this. Yeah, I think I might move my microphone over here.
I don't like that.
No?
No.
No?
No, you're too close.
What does everyone else think?
I can see your wrinkles.
That's not all you're seeing.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I like it over here.
Oh, and that was from Scott, if I didn't say.
You did.
Okay.
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Scott. Oh, look, see, I read the next line and didn't even know it. LG will have your swag in the mail tomorrow. Tomorrow as in tomorrow. Please write us a 5-star review on Apple or Audible. Luna Girl still has plenty of nifty Star Wars Valentines because she loves you. And she'll throw in a super cool Star Wars tattoo. So stupid. Don't have an Apple or Audible account? Our Facebook page has a review feature too. Just screenshot your review before you hit done and DM us the pic on Instagram or Twitter. That's your chance to tell us your thoughts on our show. Hennifer Lopez or Hank or Edith or Mama or somebody will read your review word for word on our next episode.
You know what I was thinking? Sorry to
That
interrupt.
my eyes are too small.
Well, maybe that too,
Yeah.
but
I'm feeling self-conscious about it, to be honest.
so you weren't here earlier, but Dave and I were talking about how at the end of April we're gonna have a guest on the show.
Yeah.
And he knows nothing about you.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, so
Oh.
I don't know how this is gonna go. He may never speak to me again
You're going to have to bring it up.
beforehand.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's going to be appropriate.
Okay.
Just given
We
the
don't-
nature
we
of
don't-
who it is and the potential fallout.
We don't want to spring it on him like as a
Yeah,
surprise.
it's not like, oh, hey, hi, person. Welcome to the show. This will definitely not haunt you for the rest of your life
Yeah.
or come up ever again.
Okay, I'll be sure to bring it up.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely should.
Yeah. All right, carry on. Sorry.
All right, no, I'm done. I'm good.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm going to go find my bigger eyes.
all right. Very good. Go. Yeah. Tell your plastic surgeon that this isn't good.
Yeah.
No bueno.
Bye!
Oh God. So yeah, next week, as I mentioned, Dark Side of the Moon.
That's right.
It turned 50 years old.
Well, thank God we're doing something that's older than us.
I know, right?
We can legitimately be like, yes, we are talking about something that is older than us.
Yep. So we'll see you on the Dark Side of the Moon next week. Otherwise,
See you on the dark side of the moon.
I was listening to that today, by the way.
Ah.
And yeah, so that's what's next week. I think we're done here today. Thank you to everybody who stuck around this whole time and watched all of our shenanigans. Watch me try my best and failing to hold it together. As
It's hard.
Miss Lopez got right in my face. It was
Miss Lopez has that way on people.
that was very uncomfortable. But yeah, and again, thanks to Dave for getting us caught up on our audio episodes. I was slacking in that department, and he came in and saved the day. So
Yes.
good times.
Happy to help.
Yes. All right, and hopefully we'll never get that far behind again. But yeah,
One would.
I think that's it. Bad Batch in 2 weeks, and no. Yeah, Bad Batch in 2 weeks.
Sounds
It'll be
right.
over. Yeah, and then we'll carry on from there. But yeah, no. Thank you all again to our friends who might be coming out for our 300th episode. We're still trying to nail down a date.
You hammer nails.
Yeah,
That's what happens.
it's not the size of the hammer; it's the nail you're throwing it at. Yeah, think about that one. So yeah, we'll get the dates out for that, and that's it. I'm just kind of rambling at this point. I think my pill's kicking in. So, so we shall raise a grass.
We're gonna raise a grass right now.
Raise a glass one more time to Keith and to everybody watching, Dave and everybody else. May the force be with
May
you.
the force be with you. Okay, now what do I click?
All right, and that is that.
Thanks, everybody.
Yep. Yeah, we can't really do after shows anymore because by the time I take my pill and it starts like
Yeah.
kicking in, it's like, it's not going to be good.
And honestly, finishing up at 8:00 is good.
Yeah.
It's good, especially because we have to work in the morning.
Yes. So Dave gets to go see his wife for a little while.
Yep.
Um,
And get to bed at a reasonable hour. And there's other shows that you can catch after ours. So
indeed.
enjoy.
So we're doing this for you. Yes. So, all right.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone. We love you.
Bye.
Until next time.